today's episode, titled Pupating, PowerPoints, and Potato Men, the crew and their TED Talks and other personal discussions in the city of Greylock, finally getting some resolution to the what to do with the problem of Misali, and eventually striking out in order to see the world, do some good, and blow some stuff up. We hope you enjoy.
We're off to adventure to go roll the dice. Come seize your advantage and you'll roll them twice. Even if we lose our way, we'll make a journey someday. Something awaits you, so wake us away. Who knows what role you'll play? Who knows what role you'll play?
Oh wait, that didn't go.
God damn it.
There we go. That went.
It's a trick. It's always a trick.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in our last episode, we ended up with you guys congregating at the inn. It's become your temporary base of operation. Invites were sent out cordially inviting various members of the clergy of Greylock to punch and pie at the Temple of Keller Ellenval to possibly win over new allies. And I believe the crew was somewhat divided beyond that plan as to what to do next. Lily had done some extensive research into both Gail's notes and research supplies that she fortuitously picked up.
Yeah,
and then
right.
made some discoveries. Yeah. So you did have several different plans in the works when we left off. So I will go ahead and let you all pick up from there. And we'll see how this lays out.
Where exactly did we leave off, though? Like, was it right after we were like, oh, guys, this thing just happened, and then we were like, okay, we made some slides for Kern's presentation.
That was pretty much it. It was, you guys sent out the invitation. All a chance to prepare for a group.
Yeah.
You had been doing your research. I mean, it was still middle of the day, so you guys have effectively the rest of your day
Well, we
to do
also
with what
sent
you wish.
Xylund and Lana to Gail's place at night.
Right, but they had returned.
Yeah, I think
So-
they returned. And,
Yeah,
we
you
returned
guys
and
had-
we had a powwow.
Yeah, you guys, you've all congregated at the inn, so you should all be effectively on the same page,
So is the
planning-wise.
tea party today or tomorrow?
Tea party would be the following day.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Lily wants somebody to grab the bug book scale sent Cat so that we can also start seeing if there's anything further in there.
Xylund's going to head off to the Temple of Zana to drop off his helmet so they can examine it.
Oh, I got to drop off the mind shielding ring to Kat as well.
And Lily is making slides.
Yes, Gail did make mention that Kat had additional notes in her office, and he made a distinction between her office and her real office.
So somebody's got to go talk to Stanley. Clearly.
I'll go talk to Stanley.
I wanna go talk to Stanley too. But I'm making slides.
What do we need to tell Stanley?
Nothing important. Nothing important.
Ask him
Then-
if he has any more parables.
Parables?
Yeah.
What do you mean parables?
Never mind.
Okay, why do we need to talk to Stanley again?
Just, I mean, if anybody in there's gonna know what Cat's real office is, it's gonna be him. Let's be honest. He
No,
knows
I
way
guess,
too much
yeah.
that He shouldn't.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to Stanley.
All right. I'll just be here by myself, making slides.
Well, do you want to send your Natalie along with me so that you can also be there?
Sure, I guess. Just gives a look at the cat. Cat kind of shrugs, follows Davynn.
You just seem really sad that you can't talk to Stanley.
That's
A
fine.
note to him
He's
or
just
something?
very, very amusing. That's all. No. I don't have anything yet. Probably later.
All right, sounds good. I'll let him know that you were thinking of him.
Please don't.
I'm gonna do it.
Please don't. For the love of God, please don't. I don't need that mess.
Okay, fine. But I'll hint at it.
She just goes back to working.
Okay, so Lily's making slides. Xylund is headed back to the Temple of Zana to return his helmet. Kern, you want to return Cat's ring?
Yeah, I have it invisible right now.
Yeah. Okay, and is it just Davynn that's going to the office, or Davynn and Lana that are going to the office? Going to
Yeah,
see Stanley?
sure, I'll go along with this. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Okay. Hildreth. Twinki, are you with us?
Can we break out the same gifts again?
Oh no. Did we lose Twinki?
He's typing in Discord.
Oh, okay. We
Nope.
cannot hear you, sir. No. Are you on push to talk?
As much as I like this microphone, I think I need a new one soon. It's getting crankier and crankier.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But that's life. Anywho, what was your question?
The question was, what are you doing?
He's probably sitting in the background staring at everyone, seeing what they're doing.
Well, that's why I asked. Everyone is going their separate ways. Lana and Davynn are going to talk to Stanley to try to locate Kat's office. Well, Lily is going to stay behind and work on slides for the meeting. Kern is going to visit Kat, and Xylund is going to the Temple of Zana. So, you have your options, or you can do your own thing.
Twinkie?
Did you die again?
Oh dear.
Oh gosh, he's dead.
Did I lose you again?
Again,
Oh,
yes.
there you are.
Oh,
We got you now.
But I will let fate decide these things. Odd he goes with Xylund, even he stays with Lily. With Xylund it is.
You're going with Xylund. Okay.
Going with Xylund.
Okay.
He's had some pretty good successes packing around this island before, so I think he's seeing this as a good learning moment.
All right. So Hildreth decides to head off to the Temple of Zana with Xylund. So that should be fun and entertaining. So we will start our first adventure just randomly here. We'll go with I'll go with Davynn and Lana since we don't generally start with them. No, you clearly aren't. Like, this is your preferred method of play, clearly, which is fine. I can keep 4 simultaneous conversations in my head. It's fine. No, it's good. I'm okay.
So I think we're going
we'll start with Davynn and Lana.
I think we're going to Argent Order headquarters, which is where Kat's office would be, and possibly Stanley.
Yes, you have been to Kat's office once before, which is in the same building that the Hatch was in, or next to the same building that the Hatch was in. But from the way Gail was talking, that didn't seem to be her official office. So you can very easily make your way back to that hatch in Barren Hole. No one's going to stop you this time through. Although you do get, like, people seem a little, not less friendly, but certainly less eager to engage with you as you go through the hold.
That makes sense.
Yes. But you don't hit any resistance going through. You're able to go directly to the hatch and go down below into the same little claustrophobic tunnels that you were led through before on your way to Stanley. Do either of you think you know the way?
Yes. Yes. I think I know the way.
Yeah. You can certainly roll intelligence to remember the way.
Hey, that's not bad.
It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. So you can retrace your steps fairly well. And you are able to walk through pretty quickly. You're aware that people are watching you, both because of just sort of the hairs on the back of your neck standing up and feeling watched, but you do occasionally see folks peer out of their little cubby holes and watch as you go by. So your presence down below is certainly not gone unnoticed, but no one stops you as you go through and you finally get to the dead end that is Stanley's room. The door is shut, of course.
I'll knock
But
on the door.
You are certainly welcome to knock.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say,
And Stanley comes to answer fairly promptly. Go ahead.
Stanley, it's us! Knock, knock, knock. I'm saying knock out loud.
And he actually he does answer fairly promptly, wearing his usual domestic dispute shirt, and he's got his fedora on today. An actual one, not just a pantomime one. You never heard that term before. Yeah, a domestic dispute shirt. I had a boss from very deep Louisiana who told me he wasn't allowed to say the term wife beater after he got married, so he changed it to domestic dispute shirt.
That's something right there.
Yeah, it made me laugh every time.
That's entertaining.
Yeah, especially said in a deep Bayou accent. It was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so yes, he's wearing his undershirt, a real fedora, not just pantomime fedora this time, and some suspenders with his breeches. Looking like Stanley. Sees you at his door.
Hey, Stanley, nice hat.
So, thank you. I have a hard time finding hats that fit just right. This one, it might do the trick. I haven't decided yet. So many visits in so many days. Such high-profile folks. I heard you went to the play.
We have you. Yeah, we did, and we certainly took some liberties with your production, but that's fine, right? Like, you don't have intellectual property non-alteration agreements with anybody, right?
Well, I guess not. I don't know why you'd want to change it. Every word is perfection, but I suppose.
So, we're here because we wanted to ask you a question. You know where Kat's office is, right?
Yeah, it's upstairs, outside. Go to the next building over.
Alright. Do you know where her other office is?
Oh, her real office. Yes, of course I do. I'm a very important person.
Yeah, I figured you would know that. I mean, you just seem like you know, like, pretty much everything. Also, people don't seem to like us anymore. Anyways, neither here nor there. Where is that office?
He kind of chuckles. He sits down in his chair, desk still strewed with paper. Well, I mean, a map. You're not going to get in, but...
What do you mean
As a
we're
matter
not
of
going to get in?
fact, Oh, you're not going to get in. I'll take you there. I really want to see this. I think this will be worth the price of admission, definitely. Come on, I'll show you.
Okay.
So he kind of haphazardly throws a tunic. He doesn't take his hat off. He just throws a tunic over top. So it takes him a minute to get it over his hat. He picks up his notepad. And just come on. And he waits till you get out of the doorway so he can shut the door behind you. And he winds you through the little halls that seem to get smaller the deeper you get into this little warren. Until eventually it does open up a little bit into wide space. It ends in a dead end, a cul-de-sac. So it's a little wider than the hall before it, but it goes for a long stretch with no doors. And then finally, when it opens into this cul-de-sac, there are 3 doors. And sitting in the center of these 3 doors, there is in front of all 3 of these doors, there's a table, fairly low table, that looks like it came with the with the hold itself. It looks ancient. And sitting behind it is a dwarf who looks about as old. He might have come with the table. He is gray-haired. He is wrinkled, all hell and back. As Stanley kind of nears this little reception area, he falls back a little bit and presses against the wall so you can go first.
I will go first. That's probably fine. I'm sure that he has no malicious intent here.
So he sort of hangs back as you approach the desk. And as soon as you step into the admittedly low light in this area, it seems to be the only light source is a lantern that is actually underneath the table on the dwarf's side. So he can probably see okay, but nobody else can. But as soon as you move into this reception area, the dwarf stands up, slamming both hands on the desk, goes to his full height, all 4.5 feet of it, and just snarls in a very deep, gravelly voice. I told you, rat bastards, you're not getting in here. If you don't turn around and go back the way you came, I'm going to stab you in all 4 of your eyes.
Oh, God, sorry, I don't have 4 eyes, but please don't stab me in either of my 2. Hi, I'm Davynn from Whitfeld. Maybe you've heard of me, maybe you haven't. Stanley would have told you, maybe he would, maybe you've heard of the place. Anyways, we need to get into the cat's office. It's for helping her and stuff.
Helping her. He sits back down. And he does actually have a dagger. It's sitting on the table. So when he sits down, he picks it up and starts to drill it into the tabletop a little bit. This is apparently a habit of his, judging by the number of boreholes in the top of this table. He starts to spin it a little bit. That's all I've been hearing. Helping her. Well, you're not getting in. You can turn tail, go right back to that conclave, and tell them to shove it. Just like I've told every other little fresh-faced group that they keep sending down here. You're not getting inside.
We're not from the Conclave.
We also tell them to shove it on a regular basis.
You're not from the conclave.
Do you want to see my
You're
manifesto?
clearly not spies. God, you do sound like Stanley, but no. You smell like conclave to me.
Yeah, we met with them at one point, but
I got
we...
thrown out by the coat collar.
If you
But
are
look-
truly sent here for Kat's office, then you'll know her password.
Oh, shit.
Hold on. How well do you know Kat?
How well do I know the captain? I've only been her personal secretary and guard door for, I don't know, since she first fucking set foot in here.
Okay, if you know Kat super well, then she probably mentioned us because she probably needed somebody to vent to about those assholes who keep on bumbling into shit.
You've just described 90% of the people who work here.
But like those assholes who keep on bumbling into important shit.
Again, you might have noticed the captain doesn't have very high opinions of, humanity in general.
I'm the kid with the dragon blood.
God.
The boy with the dragon scale tattoo.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Not impressed, kid.
Lana, do you know what her password would have been?
No, that would have been a really helpful thing for her to tell me when she gave me all those, mind images from jail, but nope.
Do you think Gale would have known?
Let me ask.
I'm sending to Gale.
I think she's typing it out.
Is she? Okay. She can count her words without Davynn chiming in. Davynn's gonna chime in anyway. And that's it. No more words. You get a response from Gale, since he no longer has the ring. And his response is, Kat's too paranoid for passwords.
There
Gee.
isn't a password.
Yeah.
God damn it.
There is no password. It's not the password. But, it's the answer to this trick response thing.
So the dwarf looks at you for a good, solid minute, just staring daggers. And finally he stands up, takes his knife, keeps it out, keeps it in one hand at all times. But he does also pull out a massive ring of keys from deep inside his tunic. And he unlocks the center door. So I'm going to stand right here, and if you touch anything I don't want you to touch, I'm going to stab you right through the hand. You
That's
won't see
fair.
it coming, and it'll hurt like hell. And
Okay.
I'll lock you down here, and no one will ever see you again.
Jesus.
That's quite a threat.
I see why she hired this guy. Or, worked
Question:
with
Did
this
she
guy.
did she also call you one of those assholes, or were you like special?
Well, no, she calls me an asshole every day, but that's okay. I don't let it bother me. Take it as a sign of affection. His face completely unchanging throughout that entire statement.
I don't want to get on this guy's bad side. Alright, I guess we're gonna look around for notes and
Okay.
to touch anything else.
So you're in this little office, and this looks like a proper office. The first time you were in Kat's office, it was sort of strewn about. It was very, very disorganized. The one upstairs, and she might have actually been sharing it with others. It's hard to tell. This one is very neat. She's got boxes of files that have all been stacked and labeled. Her desk is very neat, very put away. She seems to have a very specific system for how she keeps her information. She has a dead plant in one corner. It's stuck in a pot. There's no windows down here at all. I'm not sure what kind of plant it was in life, but now it is an X-plant. She has one living plant that lives on her desk, and once you have entered the room, the dwarf follows in behind, keeping the door open, and actually goes and pulls a water skin again from his tunic, which seems to have more pockets than anything, and waters it gently. This one is struggling, but is doing okay. But yeah, you've got Kat's office. She has a desk, and that desk has 4 drawers on each side. She has a table to one side, and a little chair by her desk, and a little chair by her table. And that is it. There's nothing on the wall other than the plants. There's no sign of life in here. It is what it is.
I will, keeping an eye on the dwarf, slowly try to open one of the drawers.
The top drawer is unlocked. The others do have very obvious locking mechanisms to them, but the top one is unlocked. And again, he is watching every move. Of course, the door to the little main area, the little reception area, is kept open, and you can see Stanley approaching from the darkened corridor, since he stands a good foot and a half taller than the dwarf. He is approaching slowly, looking bemused, and scribbling something in his pad, taking in the scene before him. The top drawer is full of mostly writing implements you would expect to find. Charcoal, some scraps of paper. Some of them look like they might have come from Gale. They look very similar to the drawings that you guys got when you went to visit him at his manor, but more practice versions of them. These aren't final drafts. These are learning doodles, much smaller and less precise than the line drawings that you had before.
Can we get an idea of what kind of messages were on those, if they're less precise, or?
You can't read, unless you want to try and crack it. You can't read the cryptography. Only Lily could.
Okay, so we might want to take these. Is it okay if we take these?
No!
Will you stab me if we
It
take?
is not fucking okay. You can't take anything.
But we were told to take things from here.
What were you told to take?
Her notes and stuff, so that we can help get her out.
What notes are going to get her out?
I don't know. We're grasping at straws here. But we're trying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
No, you can't.
like scritch anomalies. I'm not sure how I can get Lila's attention via anomaly, but I'm gonna try to like.
Isn't
I guess
this is
scratch
just
her
a
ears.
question. Is there a distance? Because I know telepathy has a distance
So-
limitation. Is there a distance limitation on being able to?
Being able to see through her eyes, it's like 100 feet.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I thought it was the same thing as the telepathy, but I didn't.
Always obeys your commands. Like always, but if it's within 100 feet of you, you can communicate it with it telepathically
and
see through its
trade
eyes and hear what it
senses.
hears.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Which I mean, you guys have clearly exceeded
by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just sent Natalie along just to, I don't know, be a part of things.
Okay, just feel included. All right.
Not knowing that this is the case, I'm still trying to like scritch Natalie into the continuity. At one point, I start trying to pick her up and just like hold her face up to the notes and be like, "Can you read these?"
I can't imagine how Stanley on the door.
Stanley is just writing. He's just writing shit down.
Oh my god! This is perfect.
Can you read this?
Alright. If that doesn't work, we'll search through some more drawers.
Okay, they are locked. Again, only the top ones are unlocked, and they don't seem to have anything particularly interesting in them. They seem to be more general supplies. Like I said, little practice scraps. There's an apple core in one.
Are you gonna stab us if we open these?
The locked ones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Making this a lot harder. We're just trying to help.
Well, if you could tell me what you were looking for, maybe I could help you.
We wouldn't be here if we knew what we were looking for. But like loosely, we're probably looking for something about a whole lot of poison getting smuggled into the city.
Possibly correspondences with a guy called Gale, who you may have also heard of.
That little quisling. Yeah. Yeah. He was here a lot. You want his notes?
Yeah, and anything that Kat has too, for that matter, about what's going on with Orem and the Conclave right now.
That's a lot. I can't let you have all that, but I can show you what the kid brought.
Can you at least summarize the highlights?
I don't understand. I mean, highlights. Churches are pissed. Armies outside. Highlights complete.
All right, fair. Like the maybe medium lights is more what I meant.
I don't know the captain's business. I don't ask, but I do know that the kid was bringing her a lot of information. And he wanders over to one of the boxes. Starts to dig through it a little bit. She was teaching him code. I think I have some of their practice sheets here. He pulls out a fistful of them and puts them down on the desk. That's the last batch of stuff he brought her before she was called up. Put in the slammer. I can't make heads or tails of it myself, but there it is.
I'm gonna hold Barnaby's face up to it.
Okay, I think this is the time where I... Lily...
That's all she says is just Lily.
Lily, please. We need you at X, please.
Lily's response. Wait, hold on. Let me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15.
I like how sendings are always interrupted.
Except for Lily's, because she knows how to counter words.
Yes. Well, you also don't have Davynn over your shoulder. All right. So you
All
send for Lily to come and help since Natalie is not being cooperative.
Hopefully, somebody will send somebody to grab Lily, because while she may remember the way to Stanley's place, she doesn't know where Kat's other office is.
I would probably
No,
step
she
out,
does not.
grab Lily.
Okay. So Lana will go to meet Lily and usher her into the office, leaving Davynn alone with Stanley and the cranky dwarf
So
in
you
this office
work here every day?
every day.
Seems kind of boring since it's her office and there's nobody else using it, I think.
Right now, no, but we've got the other two.
Do the conclave come here asking for information too a lot?
Not until recently. And then they started sending him down in droves.
Anyone in particular? Or like any group in particular?
They all look the same to me.
I don't think that's racist, but it seems prejudiced in some way.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm a human. You're a dwarf. I think that makes me the majority and you the minority, so I guess it's up to you to tell me.
Oh my god!
Well, they were mostly human, but I was referring more to just their clothes, their manners, speech. You can tell one from the other. Garnon's boys.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Of course they'd be looking for records.
Is this about when Lily shows up?
We can give you guys some time.
Lily's
Lily
looking
and
a little
Lana
bit more
can come
harried
back.
than normal. She's got, hair a little bit wilder, ink smudges all over her face and hands. Right. So what's the Oh, this is nice. It's nice, cozy. Why'd you need me?
First of all, don't touch anything or he will stab you. Second of all, I was trying to hold Natalie up to the notes till you could read them and translate them for us, but I don't think it was working. Can you do that with your own face?
In order, no, she has to be within 100 feet for me to share her senses. And two, yes? But what an odd way to phrase that. Glances at Dwarf. Right. Ground rules, please? I don't want to be stabbed personally.
Well, people generally don't. That's why I threatened to do it.
Yes, so if
Just don't touch, don't take, don't. You can read some if you can.
Okay.
Just don't mess it up. She has it the way she likes it, and I don't want to hear about it when she gets out.
Can I take notes?
If I can see them before you leave.
Sure. Little does he know Lily has her own shorthand.
Well, I have to be able to read it. So no fancy languages. None of that rot. Just plain common, if you please.
Damn. All right, well,
Did I lose everybody?
No.
I'm here.
Okay. My audio cut out for a second. Discord's being a pain in my butt.
Yeah, Lily's gonna look at Davynn and Lana. Hopefully you have an idea of what's most important first, perhaps?
It's the stuff that I'm going to point to the pile that the dwarf brought by.
Okay. I'll take a look. Is it in the same cipher
It
as
is.
the... Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start Reading. I won't translate out loud until I have an idea of what's going on, and even then, I'm probably just going to summarize or decide if it needs to be talked about later.
Okay. This bundle of paper seems to be a series of documents disguised as various others. So there's some that look like grocery lists, or some that look like letters, just general correspondence. But these documents were passed back and forth between Gale and Kat. There are two very distinctive sets of handwriting to them, using the same cipher, but very distinctive handwriting. Gale seems to be coming up with the majority of the information. He has some idea of troop counts that he gives. He has some idea of which battalions are here. He has information about mercenaries that have joined, farms that have been conscripted into providing for the army, so on and so forth. He seems to be monitoring kind of the general day-to-day, bringing Kat information about both normal troop deployment and kind of how they function, and also anyone that he thinks might be of importance. One name you do recognize, and that's Hightower, the doctor that was referenced before. There also seem to be a few names of higher-ranking officers that are with this particular group. And beside each name, these are the ones that look like grocery lists, Kat has added her own notes. She seems to be familiar with at least some of them. Although most of her notes are "fuck this motherfucker" in particular. They don't seem to add much other than just giving the idea that she has a passing familiarity with some of the higher military members. She doesn't have any additional notes on Hightower, though. Everything that she gets from Gale seems to be of news to her. So you do learn a little bit more about the maneuvers of Orem, as well as the trade routes. Kat has added some information herself, particularly when it comes to the trade routes and some of the troop rotations. Something else she seems to be familiar with, and is instructing Gale on things to look for: how they mark their carriages, how soldiers travel when they're not with their battalion, how their scouts work. She seems to have some level of familiarity with Orem, but you do get information on two different trade routes, two very specific trade routes, one by land and one by sea, that are being used.
Okay. And
Does it
to transport goods from Lorehold?
Okay. Does it say like which one where all those like poisons or like medicines that are being used as poisons coming through at all?
Yeah, most of the herbs seem to be coming by land specifically. They're coming from either Lorehold or the villages to the south, which are closer to the wild magic zones, and would have some of these herbs in more of an abundance. Lorehold is just easy and tends to be a little cheaper. They also don't have any scruples dealing with Orem at all. They'll sell to anybody, they don't care. As opposed to some of the smaller villages and smaller cities to the south that are not necessarily in favor of supporting an occupying force. In which case, that's where Kat's information about how to identify undercover soldiers and undercover trade wagons came into play, trying to find out who exactly the bagmen were for those, as opposed to the very open Orem trade routes that are coming directly from Orem. Or directly from Lorehold, excuse me.
Is there are any of these piles like because I feel like by now I can recognize Gale's handwriting and Kat's handwriting.
Yeah.
Are there any of these piles that have like a Kat heavy thing where maybe she's collating reports so I can get an idea of bigger picture? Like maybe because Gale is obviously not her only source of information. That'd be silly. So she's probably going to have multiple sources, and I'm want to see if I can find any reports that look like collated. Like maybe she grabbed a bunch of information from Gale, information from maybe this guy, and then information from Stanley or something, and created this overarching big picture kind of thing. Like, is there anything like that I can find?
Not not when it comes to Orem in particular. It seems like Gale was, if not her primary source, her only source there. She seems to be relying very heavily on his information. She doesn't seem to have any additional sources, or if she does, she hasn't kept her note, or their notes are not kept here. So yeah, this seems the packet of paper that the dwarf fished out seems to be very specific to correspondence between Gale and Kat.
Okay, what about on the Conclave? Is there anything on the Conclave?
Not in this bundle. Gale does seem to have a whole lot of information on the Conclave.
Okay, and that's the only bundle we really have access to?
There are some sacks of paper on her desk, again, very neatly organized. This was just the sack of paper that the dwarf handed to you, and you weren't supposed to touch anything else.
Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So that seems like that's probably all the information we're going to get from this bundle then.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fairly, like I said, it's fairly substantial. This information would absolutely allow you to identify any high-ranking members. There are some pictures that Gale has drawn that were included. Kat has added her own artistic touches to them, but they're still recognizable. But yeah, you have trade routes, you have some idea of troop movements, you have some idea of their numbers, you have some idea of generally how they're functioning. So it's quite a bit of information.
Oops, I didn't mean to post that. Okay. With my intelligence modifier being what it is, and with everything else, how well am I going to be able to remember all of this if I don't take notes?
I mean, I don't think it would be terribly difficult. Some of the timetables, but even the timetables aren't super. I mean, they're getting large quantities, so it's not like they're getting hourly or even every other day disbursements. Like they're getting trades at a low enough frequency that you'll probably remember the timetables just fine.
Okay.
And a lot of the information is, again, very general. So,
is there anything that I should write down if I want to remember it later for the party? Like, to remember specifics.
There might be some names, but how useful they're going to be in the grand scheme, you don't really know.
Okay, I'll write those names down. And because I don't really mind if he sees those names. So it's like, what's he gonna do? Be like, oh, she's got this list of names. I mean, it could be bad, but probably not. I'll write those names down. If I'm hoping that the names will be enough to remember any notes about them as well, if there are any.
Kat seems to have some limited biographical information about them.
Yeah. And then I guess I'll also write down the timetables just in case. I won't put any information about what the timetables are for, because I feel like everybody in the party should know what they're for. But just like the timetables themselves, and that'll be the extent of my notes. I'll hand them over to the dwarf.
Can we also get like paths so that we know where we could possibly intercept said caravans and stuff?
Well, I imagine those would be part of the timetables.
Yeah, you'll have you can get an idea of at the very least significant landmarks on their path. Not a problem.
Like, I'm just not gonna label the timetables as shipments of suspicious herbs. It's just gonna be this place at this time ship, and that's literally all I'm writing. So I'm gonna hand that kind of scrap of parchment. I scribbled all it down onto the dwarf for his inspection.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. So he will take a look at that, kind of grunt a little bit, and hand it back to you.
thank you.
Done? You all done? Finished?
Well, unless there's any other notes, if that's all we have, that's all we have.
So I can expect to see the captain back any day now, right?
That's what we're working on. Yeah. It's difficult, but this information should at least help. We're doing our best. Sorry, that's all I have. And she's gonna kind of slump and mope her way out the door.
I don't remember if we got your name, sir.
Cormac. I will type that. In all
Please and
caps.
thank you.
Okay, Cormac.
How he says it.
I mean, if you'd like, we could kind of like keep you posted or something.
Boy, do you know where you are?
Greylock.
Close enough. I'm sure
He's going to be kept posted.
the moment the captain makes her way out, we will hear about it.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, Stanley, by the way.
Stanley's jotting down, but he looks up.
I think that maybe you should talk to Lily.
Cocks an eyebrow.
Is Lily out of earshot?
It's whispering this,
Okay.
but feel free to have her listen in anyways.
I'm going to say she's out of earshot because
Alright.
it'll be funnier that way if he actually does.
I don't know. It just seemed like she missed you or something.
Can't blame
And I
her.
didn't realize that there was any kind of like extra thing going on. I'm not sure what kind of thing it is, but just wanted you to know. That's all.
Yes, again, kind of looks at you sideways. You're still writing. I'll keep that in mind.
Wonderful.
So, as he walks away with you, let me walk you out. How did you find Cormac?
He was nice in the same way that Cat is nice.
I see. He's writing this down. Nice in the same way. And what's your cat friend there? What's his name?
Oh, you mean Natalie? This is Lily's. She belongs to Lily.
Let's see. And
But-
does she often read things to you, or is that a new development?
I don't think it's ever happened before. Hey, Lily, here, take Natalie back.
Natalie just jumps out of Davynn's arms and runs over to Lily on her own.
Do you talk to the cat a lot?
I would like to have more time to interact with that cat. She is very
would.
soft.
Okay, very soft. Alright. And how long has that been a thing?
What, wanting to interact with the cat more ever since I met it?
I see. Do you ever, I don't know, dress her up or?
No, I think that would be a violation of Lily's pet and or whatever. Is Stanley cool with magic? He's cool with magic. Familiar owner agency?
Agency. Alright.
Hey, Stanley,
Okay.
question. When you write things down, do you just pick out the biggest word and just say it out loud to make it sound more ominous?
Ominous?
See, you're doing it again!
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't say anything out loud. Do you hear things too?
I can see your mouth moving when you say them.
Is that like time you thought the cat could read?
No. No.
That's different than when
Yes,
you
it
thought
is
the cat
different.
could read. Okay. Different. Got it.
Anyways, yeah, just like, I don't know, talk to her or something.
Her, the cat? All right, Lily. I will. I'll make a note of it. And he tips his very real hat, and of course, this whole time he's been sort of, walking you back towards the main corridor. You can find your way out. Sure. To see all of you. Glad you enjoyed the show. I certainly enjoyed the show today. But I think we're even at this point.
Sure, I guess.
One more little Vittora tip, and that's it. He strolls back to his place, leaving you in the hall. The three of you in the hall, leading back to the hatch.
I'm sorry, Lily, I tried.
What are you talking about? Lily looks up from her pseudo clipboard that she's been using to basically encrypt all the few notes she did take in her own personal cipher.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I did nothing. That's fine. Everything's fine. Stanley's fine.
Well, that's nice. He's a very agreeable fellow, so it's good that he's doing well, I guess. Okay. Are you feeling all right, Davynn?
Every time I talk to him, I question myself.
Yes, he's very good at that, isn't he? Oh well, I'm sure it'll pass. Well, thank you for calling me. Actually, it was very good. I can add these to the slides for tomorrow. Not all of it, of course. I mean, I'm not going to include certain things because we're going to be using those certain things, maybe. Anyways, shall we head back? Is there something else you were doing?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. Is there something else we should be doing? I kind of lost track.
As far as I can tell, no. Maybe we can, plan to hit a camera fan or something, or,
Well, we certainly can get started. I'll give you all the information that I have, and then we'll see what we can do with it while I continue to copy notes onto parchment for Kern's tea tomorrow.
You could write them on smaller paper and I can enlarge the paper.
That could work, yes. We'll do that. Yeah, that'll do. All right, let's head back.
All right, so you guys can wander back towards the inn. Fortunately, Noel had to go. Bless you.
Thank you.
Noel had to split at the last minute there, but we'll soldier on. We'll go to Kern, who is making his way to the Autonova Conclave.
Yep.
To go see Pat.
With my invisible ring.
With the invisible ring on. Oh, are you wearing it?
Yes, because I mean, how else am I going to get it?
Yeah. Okay. So you can, again, you basically have freedom of movement. No one really challenges your presence at the conclave. They don't seem eager to prevent you from going anywhere in particular. So you're able to walk back to the entrance to the cells, effectively, the stairs leading down, where Zuri took you last time, without being harassed at any point. The setup is very much the same. A few guards, some behind the walls, or behind the little screen of the guardhouse, some sitting out in the main room. They do look up and, of course, gauge you as you walk in. They kind of wait for you to make the first move. Hands on swords, from what you can see, very subtly, but hands definitely on swords.
Hey,
Hey.
here to see Captain.
And gets a little grumble and clearing of throats, and the guard on duty behind the bars. See the captain.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I realized that yesterday bringing in a whole bunch of people really probably wasn't a good idea. So, I mean, she gets visitors, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
I suppose. For a second, but then all right. And he snaps at two of the guards that are sort of lounging in the open room. And they head through the iron door to what is presumably a back channel to the cells, while another opens the primary iron door to let you through, walking you to another, not the same room, but a similar meeting room where you can sit. This time he doesn't actually leave. Once you're settled inside, he stays in the room, off to one corner, standing, a door shut behind him, but he doesn't vacate like they did last time.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes, Kat is brought in, not looking awesome, similar to the state she was in the last time you saw her. She looks tired and fairly haggard. Yeah, she's not having a fun life at the moment. Same clothes you saw her in last time, and she sits looking up at you almost immediately and kind of laughing. Back already?
I mean, things didn't end so well last time, so.
Oh no, it was great. I absolutely loved being hauled out by such big, strong men and tossed into a stone cell and called a witch, and that's great.
That does sound like a lot of fun.
I've been meaning to take a vacation for I don't know how long, and this just fits the bill.
I'm sure. It looks like you're just completely relaxed right now.
I am so relaxed. If I were any more relaxed, I'd be dead.
Well, we can't let that happen. You need to get back to work here pretty soon, don't you?
I guess. Although I'm sure people figured out a way to stab themselves in the back by this point. Don't need my help.
You know who also just got back from vacation? Our friend Garvey. He just came back. I put my hand over the top of the ring on my hand.
Okay. She looks puzzled.
Yeah.
But nods. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He said he's eager to get back to work. Garvey is the name of the ring, right?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said his name was.
Yeah. He was off on vacation for a bit, but he's back in town. Are we sitting down at a table?
Yeah. You both have seats. The guard won't let you do otherwise. Like every time you move, you can feel him stiffen behind you. Like he's very paranoid. He's very on edge. You make him extremely nervous.
Yeah.
Either you or Cat, maybe both, make him extremely nervous.
Yeah. Yeah. So we also talked with our previous travel companion, and he filled us all in on what he's been doing before as well. So
It's good that you're catching up. You've missed a lot.
yeah. In fact, I think Lily's helping him put together a photo, or not a photo album, but like a journal of like what happened in his travels.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
And I kind of like look around like I'm sort of catching seeing something in the air, and I take the ring off my hand, slam it down on the table. It's like there's bugs all over the place, like more near her than anything. And then I let the ring go, and it's like stupid bugs.
Make a sleight of hand check.
I am not good at these here.
You get advantage because the ring's invisible. Just make a sleight of hand check for me. Oh, look at that! The ghosts are with you today. Look at that!
Look at that! I was cringing in like anticipation of like 2 nat ones, but no, that was a 20.
Gods are with you today. Yeah, because I didn't roll well, so so good. All right. So your sleight of hand is not picked up by the guard, but it's definitely picked up by Cat, who waits for you to kind of remove your hand. Before placing it in the same spot, and her facial expression does not change, but her hand does close over the ring.
Yeah, and I'll start just like spewing nonsense, just like talking about the day. And like kind of at the end of conversations, like, well, I know it's probably pretty dull in here, so if you don't mind, like, I can keep coming back here. Although we might be leaving again soon.
I see.
Depending on stuff
and things.
Well, depending on what happens.
No, I wouldn't worry about me. I have a feeling things are about to get a lot more interesting.
I hope. I mean, this vacation thing it's good for a bit, right?
I guess. It does keep people I don't want to talk to out, though. That's nice.
Are you trying to tell me something, Kat? You don't want to talk to me?
I'm just going to point out that you didn't bring everybody. So, apparently... I'm just saying.
Okay. Well. Anyways. Oh. Never mind. Yeah. I was going to ask if she had the password, but there's no way to, like...
No, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know that you needed the password.
I feel like, though, that Kat would do something, but I'm not going to do it. So,
no.
I'll see you tomorrow then, I guess, unless Unless they don't let me back in.
Oh, they'll probably let you back in. You're their kind of people.
Okay.
Very shiny.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Well,
gives you a little
things-
wave.
Things get a little better.
Things will get better. Just have a little faith. That's what you people are all about, right?
I mean, I'm kind of learning that. All right.
All right. So she stays, but the guard opens the door and walks you back. And then you can hear not just the iron door on your side slam, but the iron door on her side too.
Yep.
As she gets carted back to wherever they're keeping her. But you are walked back to the hatch. Eyes and swords waiting for anything, any movement, any twitch that they don't like. But yeah, they let you be. Let you leave unmolested.
Awesome.
I'm ready. There we go.
Okay.
Holy shit, first try. Okay, awesome.
Yay!
It's a good omen.
Yay! Okay. So, Kern finishes his errand. Was there anything more you wanted to do, or were you going to head back to the inn?
I'm gonna help with the slides that
Okay.
are apparently being made for this.
All right. So, reconvening back at the inn with Team Slide.
Oh my god, Lily got her own team, guys.
Yeah, Team
That's
Slide.
amazing.
Team Crypto. So that just leaves Hildreth and Xylund, who have gone to the Temple of Zana.
We're gonna write the best book report you don't even know.
I'm very excited to read it.
So Xylund and Hildreth, you head to the temple itself. As usual, there is sort of that flea market sort of effect going on in front, as both crafters and merchants show their wares, and folks come and peruse. And there's really very little distinction between cleric and faithful, and just wanderers by. But the vast majority of them are gnomes. As it's getting on in the day, it looks like they might be setting up for dinner. Tables are being pulled outside into the longer sort of colonnade stretch of the temple from inside. All hands on deck sort of thing. So it's a little chaotic. Kind of got to watch where you're going so you don't get knocked down. But a general, genial, upbeat kind of chaos. Looks like they might be doing some music that evening. You see some musicians that are setting up, staking out an area and getting instruments ready. So while they're all working, you can make your way towards the back into the inside, where Xylund has been afforded his own little setup, as well as various clerics wandering around on the inside. So Xylund,
right.
what do you want to do?
Hang on, I'm having more technical issues. Just give me a second here.
Sure.
Say something.
Something.
Hi.
Something.
Weird. Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm going to. So on the way over here, Xylund's been looking extra twitchy, kind of not super talkative or anything. Sort of glancing over at Hildreth, and then glancing away. So when we get to the temple, I'm just going to sort of stand there at a loss for a little bit and say to Hildreth, so do you want to see my work space?
I suppose, as long as it doesn't interrupt the task at hand.
Task at hand is just me dropping off a helmet that I said these guys could look at. It's not a very important task.
Then why are we doing it?
Well, because I said I would do it. I don't know why you're doing it, but I mean, I didn't want to say you couldn't come.
I am here, and I am supposed to learn more about you. So yes, let us examine your workshop.
Who? Why are you supposed to learn more about me?
It's my job.
Well, okay, you can look at my workspace, but just bear in mind that everything you see is proprietary intellectual property of mine. And so, yeah, don't go spreading it around.
That goes against the purpose of reconnaissance.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't mind you, relaying that I'm an alcoholic or something like that, or that I do too many drugs, or that I, any of the various personal failings of mine that you want to pass along.
Would you
Go
like
right
me to
ahead.
pass those things along?
As opposed to, well, if it's a choice between those things or the things I'm working on, like spreading my, intellectual type secrets, then yeah, I'd prefer you spread along the former. Like personal details rather than like, what I'm working on.
I'll keep it in mind.
I don't think you should see my workshop now.
Why don't you just take me into your workshop? I'll wear a blindfold.
How about you just sit out here and have a meal with these little gnomes, and I'll just go drop off this.
Zohar confused a gnome for a rat. It was very embarrassing. We don't hang out with gnomes anymore.
You're kind of in the wrong place then.
I think I will just stick by your side.
Does Zohar have a leash?
No.
All right. So I'll go looking for the main priest or whoever basically was in charge of looking at my helmet.
Well, last time you gave it to the overseer.
I did, but I was wondering if he passed it along to someone else or something.
Well, no, he kept it, and then you came back to get it, and he
Right.
just sort of snapped, and somebody brought it out. So you don't know where exactly they were keeping it, but there are plenty of priests in here. Very clearly marked by their garb. You don't know enough about the church to know, what denotes rank, like if you should be looking for jewelry or anything in particular. So they all kind of look alike to you. But I mean, they're certainly more than happy to talk to you. They have always seemed to be more than happy to talk to you. You get a lot of nods and acknowledgement as you walk through. So, I mean, you're certainly able to flag one down if you would like.
Oh, yeah, I'll flag one down and ask where the overseer is.
Oh, well, he's back at the conclave.
Okay, well, I said I would have. He was interested in looking at this helmet.
Oh, yes.
So I
Yes,
was
he
wondering
did
who
talk
I would
about that.
pass that on to.
Oh, I can take it.
Okay. Could you do me a favor as
Sure.
well?
Of course.
If this is a private favor, Hildreth, I'll just take him off to one side. And I'll lean down and whisper to the gnome, could you take my friend on a tour of the temple and then sort of show him the door? I want to work on some stuff and he's going to steal my ideas.
I kind of looks from you to Hildreth and back to you. Well, I can show him around. Your workspace is your own.
Thanks.
So,
I owe you one. What's your name?
Filna.
Filna. Okay. Well, I owe you one, Filna.
Sort of nods.
Watch out for his bird. It apparently eats gnomes.
Okay. Now he looks petrified as he walks away back towards Hildreth, eyeing the bird, eyeing Hildreth, casting a glance back over his shoulder at you. Yeah, you approaches Hildreth, very wary of the bird, like trying to stand to whatever side the bird is not. Master Xylund has suggested that you might enjoy a tour of the
Irrelevant.
temple.
I need to stay by his side.
Oh. again, watching the bird carefully. Hold, please. And he goes running back over to Xylund. The helmet's still in his hand. Master
Xylund
he
has
says he has to stay with
taken
you.
off across the courtyard, like,
He's-
without even
he's
looking back. So he has to run
Scuttling
after
after
me.
you. He's running. Master Xylund, Master Xylund.
What?
He says he has to stay with you.
He's lying. Oh,
can't
god damn it. Yes,
force
okay, I'll come
him
back
to
and deal with it.
Thank you.
So I
Thank you.
stalk back. All right, you
And
can come
you're-
to my workshop, but you have to wear a blindfold the whole time you're there.
I can just close my good eye.
How about... Are you missing an eye? Like, that's out of character, but I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
Yeah,
a damaged
he's
eye.
he's absolutely missing an eye.
that. Oh, really?
Like his one whole side of his face has claw marks where it's been ripped out.
Oh, shit. Well, how about an eye patch?
That seems counterproductive.
Well, you can... I mean, it's better than nothing. You'll be able to hear what I'm doing, and then you can sort of piece together what I'm doing from that.
I can just watch.
God damn it. All right, fine.
So your priest friend has scampered off into the recesses of the temple. You can hear his little footfalls.
I'll show it after him. I don't know you anything, Phil. Now the dead is right.
And again, your workshop. The door is closed to your workshop. And there are several clerics sort of milling in the general vicinity, just chatting more than anything. And you get nods and good evenings and usual greetings as you approach.
Are you familiar to these gnomes?
Yeah, they I think I'm pretty cool.
Gnomes are strange creatures with strange thoughts.
Well, I like them. Although that could be because they think I'm pretty cool. So how many chairs are in my workroom?
Well, there's just the one in there. And it's all fairly gnome sized.
All right. I'll poke my head out again, try to flag down another gnome.
Oh yeah, again, there's a small gathering not far from your door as folks sort of wind down for the day.
Okay, wait in my workroom. I'll say I'll be right back. And I'll go over to the gnomes. Could I get another chair in there for my friend? Also, do you have like an errand boy or something like that? An errand gnome?
What is it you need?
Blood moss.
Oh.
And vodka.
Oh God.
And whiskey.
Should we be writing this down?
If you wouldn't mind, I can pay. Let's see what else. I could use some silver tea.
That may prove difficult.
Which
Silver tea.
part?
Silver tea.
Oh, well, that's fine. Blood moss will do.
They kind of look amongst each other, and then finally one of them summons the courage to speak. You are aware blood moss is illegal.
Yeah, but if you, if anyone gives you trouble, just say that you're on special business from Commander's Island, Shrillsteel of the Argent Order.
Okay.
And it's for you're actually deep undercover, trying to infiltrate a blood moss ring. It's this complicated sting operation. Just send them my way if you get in any trouble, and I'll explain the whole thing to them. In fact, as far as you know, that's what's going on. So yeah, you're deputized. Congratulations. But I will need that blood moss for evidence.
He sort of nods. Yeah, we can. We'll certainly do our best. Is there anything else?
I'll poke my head back in the workshop. Hildreth, do you want anything to drink or smoke or anything?
Water will be fine.
Okay. All right. So I have this little crestfallen.
Make it
Um,
hot water.
Okay. I'll go back to the gnomes. Do you know anything that like I'm not very familiar with Dragonborn. Are there any particular drugs they like to do or alcohols they like to drink?
We're not in. I mean, any
All
in the
right, scratch
city.
that. He'd like some hot water though when you have a
Hot
moment.
water. Okay.
And
Yes.
What's your name?
I'm Darn.
Darn. Okay, I owe you one, Darn.
Okay. Well, we heard you talking to Philna, and you said you owed him one.
Yeah,
So you-
he didn't come through in a crunch though. I mean, this is dependent on you coming through with what I asked for. Then I'll owe you one. Otherwise,
Well, we can send out for materials.
Thanks.
I don't know how much these items will cost.
Oh well, here's 5 gold.
Okay. Well, we will get you as much as we can. And they kind of talk quietly amongst themselves for a moment before Darn scoots off and heads outside the temple, and the other two just kind of look at you a little wary. And then the other one walks away towards the kitchens.
It's for my creative process. I'll show it after them. And also evidence.
All right. So he's going to be gone for a bit, looking for your illicit substances.
All right, I'll go back in the workroom.
All right. It is exactly as you left it. Tools in place.
I'm going to have to
Various
ask you to
materials.
close your eye for a moment there, Hildreth. I have to take off my armor.
All right.
Does he close his eye?
No, he's staring.
Look, man, you got to just turn around or something for a minute. It's just going to be a minute.
I might miss something important.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll go outside of the workroom, shut the door behind me, and start stripping down right outside.
In front of all the gnomes?
In front of all the gnomes. At least they're not goddamn taking notes.
So Xylund starts to doff his armor.
I have to take off all my outer clothes too, because my armor is skin tight now, so I have to
Yes.
strip right down.
Right down.
While he's doing this, is there like a dragon chest set or something in his room? His
No, I
workshop.
haven't had a chance to
No.
customize it yet.
Yeah, he hasn't really
well.
moved in. He's only spent a little bit of time there.
I guess Hildreth will spend his time just walking around and seeing what's up and what different tools are and trying to make sense of what the hell's going on.
No, hard to say. So, Xylund's in his undies in the middle of the Great Hall of the Temple of Xana. Your armor's off.
Okay, I'll put my outer clothes back on and take my armor into my workshop.
Okay. Where Hildreth is perusing tools. There's a knock at the door almost immediately after you close it, and it is 2 more gnome clerics, one with a big mug of hot water, big brass mug of hot water, and the other has a chair.
Oh, thank you.
They set that up for you.
Thanks.
Supper should be fairly soon. Would you like us to tell you when it's ready or bring you plates?
Do you want supper, Hildreth?
It would be wise. Is it poisoned? I do not want it if it is poisoned.
No, it's quail.
Well said.
Poison quail, though?
No, we don't think so.
All right, yeah, we'll have some quail. Thanks.
For 3.
3. Okay, sure. Of course. They sort of bob their way out. They shut the door. You can hear them talking as they walk away. I don't know why you would. I don't know what to say. How do you answer? I don't know how to answer that question. So you're once again left alone in your workshop. A mug of hot water and chair now available to you.
All right, there's your chair, there's your water. I'm going to get to work.
Hildreth will sit down and observe Xylund doing his thing while digging through his herbalism kit, finding something that would make some good tea, and make himself some tea.
Okay. Well, you definitely have enough
Zohar,
room for that.
by the way, will find a nice place to perch and just stare relentlessly at Xylund.
I'll turn my chair so my back is to Zohar.
So work continues for a bit. Again, there's no windows in here, so there's no real way to mark the passage of time. After a while, there is a very short and polite knock on the door, and 3 gnomes come in, each bearing plates. And there is indeed quail upon the plates. There's also some roasted vegetables and a little bowl of something that looks like a dessert, might be a pudding or something. It's hard to tell, but it looks fairly custardy with some fruit on it. And they've got utensils, and they each have mugs tied to their belts, which they offer up to you. But yes, they have brought you plenty of food, and they set it here in the workshop for you.
I want to see each of you take a bite of one piece of each meal on the plate you delivered.
God damn it, I'll just do it. I'll take a bite of each.
Dan grabs a fork and just angrily starts shoving forkfuls into his mouth.
Try to behave, Hildreth. Come on, man.
I'm making certain they are behaving. Who's to say they won't try to kill us?
Why would they do that? Why would you do that? I ask the gnomes.
We wouldn't?
Right, exactly.
That's what someone who wanted to kill us would say.
Kind of look from one to another, and then they look at the bird. Apparently word of the bird has gone far and wide, because they're all very wary of Zohar, and they keep glancing towards her and then back at you guys. Like they try to stay on the opposite end of the room from Zohar. There's music later if you care to come out. We don't want to interrupt your work, of course, but there'll be a singing and music and prayers later if you are at all interested.
Do you sing like every day?
Yes. Don't you?
No. I sort of glance at Hildreth to see if I'm the only one who finds all this singing strange.
He's just going to stare in his way at the gnomes. He on one side, the bird at the other side, just piercing gazes.
All right, well, I think I might skip the singing, but if there's any, word on that blood moss, that'd be great.
Isn't blood moss illegal?
Moss is illegal. They kind of nod slowly and then slowly back out of the room and shut the door. You can hear their little feet pitter-pat away in the hall. Hushed voices. So you are left with your supper and your work, and at some point later there is a very surreptitious knock on the door. Just a very quick little rap. Pop, pop, pop.
I open the door.
And there's a cloaked figure standing just outside of it, just to the other end, and they don't come in and they don't say anything. They just shove a brown paper package in between the crack of the door.
Is that Deputy Darn?
Yeah, I don't know. You can't see him.
I'm asking him.
Oh. And there's no response. There's just a shh.
You've done a great service for law and order and such today. The Argent Order won't forget.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I mean, in a good way.
He waits for you to take your package.
I take it.
He flees into the night.
We don't know
He's
that
brought
voice.
you a wrapped brown paper package. There are several flat flasks, like wooden and metal flasks, and another small. It's actually kind of sizable. It's about the size of a ping pong ball. That's been wrapped up in waxed paper. There's no money, so apparently he spent all of it.
Well, that's good. As long as he got me 5 gold worth of blood moss.
Well, he got you 6 flasks of alcohol, 3 of whiskey, 3 of potato ale, and a ping pong ball sized clump of what looks to be blood moss.
I will proceed to smoke it. I will offer some to Hildreth. Once I've got it lit up, I'll pass the flute pipe in his direction.
I do not partake in mind-altering substances.
So how many doses of blood moss is this?
Well, how much are you smoking at a time?
The whole ball, obviously.
I was gonna say, how adventurous are you feeling?
No, I want to continue working, so not enough to like completely incapacitate me.
For you and the amount that you smoke, this would probably last you 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If I was smoking it every day.
If you were smoking a moderate amount every day.
A Xylund's amount every day.
Well, a Xylund moderate amount every day. Like if you were smoking it continuously, not so much. But if you're, smoking, once or twice a day, a moderate amount, it'll last you about 2 weeks.
Okay.
A baker's island every day.
I'll sort of arrange all the flasks on the workbench, and I'll motion for Hildreth to help himself if he changes his mind. And then I'll just work through the night.
All right.
Doesn't it bother you?
What?
Affecting your mind in such a way that you're not prepared for the inevitable.
Well, if it's inevitable, what's the point in preparing for it?
Keeping it from killing you before you can kill it. When your senses are addled, who knows when a spy or assassin or a monster will come and take you when you can't fight back. And you did it yourself. You did it to yourself.
Xylund will laugh at that. Should I be worried? Are you planning something over there?
I'm always planning.
Right.
There are things out there we need to be prepared for.
Like ghosts?
No, not ghosts. The ghosts are our friends. We like the ghosts.
So what are these things, like demons?
They could be.
Have you met a demon? Wait,
I don't
didn't your
know.
family get killed by demons or something?
Something. I don't know yet. But yes, they're dead. Brutally and horrifically. Slaughtered and torn to pieces in front of my own eyes. Have you seen your mother's intestines eaten while she's still alive in front of you while you cower behind a floorboard?
No.
It's
No.
pretty terrifying. It
Yeah, I
keeps you
bet.
from not wanting to drink anything.
Well, it had the opposite, sort of. I mean, I didn't see anything like that, but I guess I went the other way.
The nightmares keep me sober.
This might help with the nightmares, you know.
The nightmares keep my purpose true.
Sounds exhausting.
Survival is exhausting.
You're exhausting.
I'm just sitting here. You're the one doing all the work. What are you working on?
My armor.
But you already have armor. It did not seem broken.
I'm making it better.
How?
Well, I've got all these sockets I can socket gems into. I've got this gem here that's going to be able to shoot blasts of lightning if I put it in certain places. It's complicated. Why am I telling you? You're just going to steal all my ideas.
Actually, I'm quite interested in your line of work. These gems you're talking about, where do they get their source of power? Do they start off as normal stones that were enchanted, or are they bits of purified magic, perhaps, that have their own power deep within? waiting to be summoned by those who are worthy.
Oh, the first thing.
Oh, that's what I hoped you'd say. Where do you get these stones enchanted?
It's a good question. Where did I get these stones enchanted? Where would I have got them enchanted, Eerie?
Which ones?
The ones I'm putting into my armor, my super cool Artificer armor.
Oh, you bought them from another artificer.
Okay.
Or you traded, I should say, to another artificer.
I traded for them.
Pity, I was hoping you'd be the expert on such things.
I'm more of a more mechanically minded than magically minded, honestly. I'm getting better at it, but I'm not quite that good yet.
How expensive is it to enchant one of these stones?
I don't know. He gave me a deal.
Hildreth will take out his eye and put it in front of Xylund. How much do you think it would cost to enchant this?
To enchant your eye? Which eye is this?
The not real one.
Is this the hag's eye?
No, this is the stone I use in place of my eye to keep something in the socket so dust doesn't get inside.
Oh,
Have you ever
okay.
had dust inside of your skull before?
So you want your eye enchanted so you can actually see through it?
No, that's what Zohar is for. Maybe it can shoot lightning. Haven't you ever wanted to shoot lightning out of your eyes? No one expects lightning from your eyes.
That would be cool. I think that's above my abilities, but I don't know. I guess I could try to hook you up with. I mean, there's lots of craftsmen here and such. You know what you should do? You should go out and you should try to track down someone who can enchant your eye.
Irrelevant. I need to stay here with you.
God damn it. Well, once I'm done working on my armor, maybe I'll try to find someone to help with your eye.
That is acceptable. I will help any way I can.
Well, you could go listen to the music for a while.
That
I
sounds
promise
more
I
like-
won't do anything interesting while you're gone.
I don't think you're going to do anything interesting anyway, but I can't take that chance.
Ouch.
Ow. Ow.
Yeah, well, you're not far wrong. I continue to smoke my blood moss as I sort of stare him down, trying to send unwelcome vibes in his direction. Then I'll turn back to my work.
Yeah. With nothing else, Hildreth will just stare and observe and quietly drink his tea and eat his dinner.
Okay.
Not actually taking notes, just seeing if he does anything out of the ordinary and strange.
Right. He's just working on his armor. So, I mean, nothing eventful happens. So whether you guys crash at the shop or not is completely up to you.
Xylund is not going to crash. Just whenever he feels tired, he's just going to take another puff of blood moss.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sure that'll work out well. Hildreth, do you ever decide to go back to the inn, or are you going to stay and watch as long as he's there?
He'll go back to the inn.
Okay.
He really was mostly keeping tabs on Xylund, not to spy on him, but it's like, we shouldn't split the party too much, and now that he realizes Xylund's not doing anything interesting, he'll go home.
Okay. Hildreth eventually abandons you, Silent.
Although he was very excited he learned about the craftsman with that enchant gems. That's exciting to him.
And
Okay.
Team Slide's just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's where all the
Team
popularity's
Slide.
at.
So, Team Slides Week has been working at the inn as Xylund continues to tinker with his armor, making it cool. Hildreth rejoins at some point, and unless there's anything else that needs to be accomplished today, we can cut to the next morning.
Lily press gangs Kern and Hildreth into service, making slides as best
You
she
don't
can.
need to press gang me. I need to be prepared for the presentation.
So Lily, really the big thing is Lily just added a lot more notes to the whole deal that we've uncovered. She left out the. She's gonna ask the group whether or not she should leave the timetables out or add it as evidence.
Just put them as backup slides at the end. We can get through it. If
Yeah.
they
Use
ask
the
questions.
ammunition you have. Put it in there.
Even the
Evidence of what exactly would we be saying at that point? I mean, I know what we want to say, but like, do we want them to know about this and then possibly get back to Orem because we still don't entirely know if everybody in this group is good?
Yeah.
Well, we're only bringing people we genuinely believe are probably on our side.
Yeah, but we're not 100% sure on that.
Additionally, we don't know for sure what the plan is for this. I mean, we know it's probably malicious.
God damn it, Sid.
We know it's probably malicious. And we have a few different ways it could be used maliciously, and I think we should present all of those possibilities. There is also, however unlikely, the chance that it is benign. I think we should present them everything we have, maybe give a few theories give our theories as to what it could be used for. And she'll pause, write down all the things it could be used for. based on knowledge of alchemy and all that. Here, Kern, I made you a sheet of notes to refer to if you need it.
Awesome. It's just like flashcards, like
Yeah, essentially, it's essentially note cards with like talking points, what certain things mean. If they have questions about this, here's a little bit more info that wasn't included in the presentation because it didn't flow well. Like she's preparing you for like presidential election type notes here.
Oh God. Okay.
Can't think of anything else by this point. Her face is like more ink than skin, and her hands are like pruned. I can't think of anything else, but if you can think of something, please let me know and I'll add it.
Okay. All right. Will do. Tea party ho.
All right, tea party ho. So you guys can retire for the evening, secure in your PowerPoint presentations. And Xylund is, of course,
Doing
doing
Xylund
whatever
things.
the hell over there. We're not gonna visit that section of Greylock. We're just gonna leave that over there. So we will again next morning. You guys are, of course, invited to your own little personal conclave at the Keller Ellenwald Temple. Yes, it has a door. That is true. Where you are greeted warmly by the Liliscea. She is she is welcoming you. Very happy to see Hildreth, the sage, welcomes him specifically, and then greets the rest of you and shows you the preparations that have been made. One of the rooms has been cleared out. It's been set up for obviously multiple attendants. Food has been prepared. The sage again says that she hopes this achieves what you hope it will achieve, and that perhaps you can help push them to a solid decision for everyone. So she allows you to do your own preparations while she attends to the food and everything else. And before long, all of the invitees begin to filter in, each bringing with them at least one guard, some as many as 3. and the room begins to fill quickly. Comes
Okay.
in and greeting each other, and there's general conversation and what have you.
How many people in total are in attendance? Like principal parties, not individuals.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 churches, including Ellenville. No, never mind. Hold on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7, including
So
Keller, Ellenville.
all 7 churches attended.
Oh, I thought you were asking how many I invited.
Okay.
All
shit.
those who were invited did
Lily made
attend.
one. Lily made one too few copies. Whoops.
I don't need a copy of the notes. I've been practicing all night.
Kern's got it memorized. He's got
Kern-
this.
Well, Kern's also got his personalized notes that Lily made for him, but she only has 7 copies of slides, so I guess 1 to each church member.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll take the thick stack out of her ever-present bag. It's just like separated, all tied off with twine. She'll go around to each of the church members as they take their seat, passing them out. Like, this is for your reference. Sorry. And then go back to a corner waiting to be called on.
Okay. All right, Kern. Everyone looks expectantly at you.
All right.
Once the sage makes sure that everyone is seated, that everyone has food, everyone is comfortable, all eyes turn to Kern.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming. Seriously though, the summons a couple of days ago kind of caught us off guard, and we just wanted to clarify some things because, one, we're all pretty paranoid about our goings on, and 2, when we got here, we were led to believe that there may be people trying to work against us. So I'd just like to clear the floor on a couple of subjects, since you guys could probably tell we were a little off kilter. And then I was like, please turn to slide 1. I kind of go over in more detail everything that happened when we went into Karok, about how we got there, we saw Cat outside the castle, we busted in, described how we encountered all the sisters, and then how when we finally got to Timlakos, we had the dragon orb, and I've gone through all this with everybody else, so if anybody wants to be like, no, we shouldn't tell them that, let me know.
Lily is all for full disclosure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got to Timlakos, we were beat to crap. I describe what happened with Nysali, how she had him like kind of in a stalemate, and we used the dragon. Yeah, I'm not going to mention the Schmudwell. How we used the dragon orb to imprison him in there. We're not exactly sure how it works, but
Theories
we
on
know.
slide 6.
Yeah. And I kind of described what the dragon orb had been used for, like summoning dogs beforehand, and how it's tied to Davynn's ancestry, essentially.
Hi, Davynn from Whitfeld. You all know me by now.
Yeah. Go into, we don't have it on us right now, and that is one thing we can't tell you where it is, simply for safety's sake. When Timlakos was fighting Nysali, or Nysali was keeping him at bay, she had all this crap going up her arms. Like she just didn't look great. Like her veins and crap were all purple and blue or black, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
And she seemed a lot more after we sealed him away. She seemed to get a lot better. But right now, one of our compatriots, Xylund, went to go talk to her. And although she seems a little bit off, we still believe that she's our best bet. And we plan on trying to figure out whether there is any sort of residue from Timlakos affecting her. And if so, we plan on taking care of it. So, yeah.
There is a possibility that the Dragon Orb is not a perfect containment system. And in that situation, there's every possibility that should it be destroyed with Timlakos inside, then hopefully that will prevent any further bleeding effect.
Yeah.
If such a thing is what is occurring, it's a theory, of course. We don't really have concrete evidence, but doing what we can.
And the reason that we kept or skirted around a lot of these details before is because Orem is at the gate. And honestly, we're not entirely sure who to trust, but we need as many people helping as possible. I'm pupating. However, we also got some new information on what's happening with Orem outside in terms of shipments they've been getting. Now, once again, we can't necessarily reveal our sources as to where we've gotten this information, but as you can see, over the past couple of months, Orem has gotten various shipments of these herbs, and our resident expert alchemist here has put together some possible uses for large quantities of such herbs and spices.
They aren't good.
Yeah. Nothing's good about it either.
The notes I've made on possible uses, both benign and malicious, can be found on the 6th page. The 7th shows an individual who could definitely make use of and manufacture these things, and in various quantities. I believe some of you might be familiar with the name Wesla Hightower.
In addition to get this stuff, they've been conscripting various farms along around the area. Do I remember hearing that right? That's what they were doing?
Yeah, they were basically, they were mostly conscripting farms in order to bolster their own food supply.
Okay.
Which is one of the reasons why Greylock is having such a hard time getting supplies in. But they are also arranging, shipments of other items from both Orhold and various places. But yeah, they're basically slowly colonizing the area around their camp.
Here, just a quick question that I didn't think of before. Weslar Hightower, everyone's described him as an alchemist, correct? Alchemist / doctor?
Yeah, he's been called a doctor by some. Kat was the one who called him an alchemist because of the way he smells. But he has been referred to as a doctor, a surgeon, an alchemist, or a medical officer.
Would I have heard of him at all? Is he a name of any kind of note and maybe in the alchemy community? Like maybe he writes papers or something that I might have read?
He hasn't published anything, and so probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a name that is widely publicized.
Okay. Just wanted to
Sure.
check just on and off chance.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's not a noted scholar or anything like that. Like he works for Aurum, and that seems to be about the extent of anyone's information about him. Even Kat didn't have extensive notes on him.
Yeah. So go into those details, and then to kind of round it out, I will kind of bring it back to Kat and be like, so, and additionally, on the topic of Captain Lucifera, yes, we know her abilities. We've worked with her hand in hand. We've seen everything up close. While I don't understand necessarily everything she can do, I do know that she only has Greylock's best interest at heart, and she is not doing too well right now. I've gone to visit her the past couple of days, and if there is something wrong with her, obviously I do not think her current care is benefiting, or her current physicians are benefiting her in any way. And I beseech you all that if it's possible for you to have the captain released into one of your church's care to try to take better care of her, worst case scenario, it's still just as bad, but who knows? Maybe it's something that being locked in a stone cold cell 24 hours a day, that probably doesn't help anything.
And there's some visible discomfort from the group with that statement. Like, for most of the part, these guys are diplomats, so they're used to not giving away the game. But yeah, there's some very obvious glances across the room at that sentiment. They don't appear to be particularly thrilled with that situation either.
Furthermore, from what I understand, and of course, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but Hightower was summoned to provide care for her because it appeared she was unwell and nobody really knew what to do. While certainly not a published alchemist or even really considered like an expert in my field, I definitely wouldn't would happily offer to take a look and see if I could shed some light on anything really, just for a second opinion. I mean, you take or leave that as you will, but it certainly couldn't hurt, right? Having a second opinion is always good. Just listening to one source can be problematic.
I do realize that under the current circumstances, she can't really be released since you guys are all on your fact-finding missions, but anything is better than what she's going through right now.
I mean, I wasn't even allowed to give her something to help fix her breathing. I mean, it's a simple tonic, but she wasn't allowed to take it, and her lungs really sound horrible. If you've ever spoken with her, she sounds like she's about to. It sounds like she's trying to speak and breathe through fluid, and it's a simple tonic to make. And Lily seems genuinely distraught at the idea that it's something so simple hasn't been addressed.
But yes, that If you have any questions for us, we will try to be as open as possible.
Thus concludes our TED Talk.
Yes.
So the sage kind of takes the temperature of the room. She's been sort of sitting back and watching and listening. The churches are kind of murmuring amongst themselves. They don't seem to have any questions. So after a little while, the sage stands up and thanks everyone for coming and thanks you for all your diligence, and says you've given the group much to discuss amongst themselves, and that there should be a joint announcement this evening to discuss the future of the city, and hope that you would stay until, at the very least, that occurred.
Okay.
And
Cool.
so the heads of churches head out, still kind of talking amongst themselves a little bit with their entourages, and the sage gives you one last sort of gentle smile as she starts to herd them out and leaves you alone with
think
the
that went
bits
well,
of
right?
food.
That went well. Right?
There's no way to tell other than time, really.
Either no questions is bad or no questions is good.
At this point, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh well.
For what it's worth, you did give a very good presentation. A plus.
I'm just
Yeah.
concerned because normally the phrase "you've given us a lot to think about" usually means it's a polite way of saying we're not going to consider anything you say, right? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I've never had to give presentations in front of heads of state or religion or anyone.
That's reassuring. Thank you, Hildreth.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh well. Well, regardless, at least they know. At least we made the gesture. So hopefully they don't think negatively of us.
Why would they ever think negatively of you? That's
I don't know.
just silly.
We're awesome.
Just silly.
Yeah.
So yes, you are left to your own devices for the rest of the afternoon, cleaning up after your TED Talk, and retiring back to the inn to do various and sundry. About an hour before sunset, there is a big fanfare. There are town criers that begin to walk through the streets, calling everyone to the courtyard in front of Caract.
I also did go to
Which
visit
is
Cat again. I also did
You
go
wa-
to visit Cat again.
You want to
during the
visit?
day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just to say hey and like
just
keep my
just
presence
to check up with
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And she
So
is
it doesn't need to be played out.
Yeah, she is very much unchanged. So, the town criers begin to call everyone. The bridges open up for once, allowing those in the warrens to come across. Although there is a fairly heavy Templar church military presence in the old city these days. That does continue, but most of the city seems to have clustered in front of Castle Caract for this announcement, as the heads of churches gather. It looks like it's going to be the High Justice Bladewalker, who's going to do the talking here, her voice amplified so that all can hear. And they give the pronouncement of the conclave after an opening speech, thanking the people, commending their bravery, their adaptability, their strength of will to push beyond, acknowledging that there are further challenges ahead and that recovery has barely begun. She gets into the heart of the matter. The conclave has decided that Her Grace is, while still entitled to her rule, unwell, and that it would behoove the city and its citizens to have a regency in her place until she has been fully restored to health. That regency will be made up of 3 members of the clergy, 1 member of the political caste, and 1 representative from Her Grace's tribe, which historically has stood in her stead whenever she was indisposed.
They're not allowed into Greylock, are they?
Oh no, it's the Maskins that aren't allowed in Greylock. Her tribe, the tribe that she comes from originally, the Meyer folk, they do come. You have actually met them before. When Karak was under lockdown the first time, you've met a few representatives of her tribe.
Okay.
This is better than we expected, right?
Think so.
This is kind of what we were wrangling for, wasn't it?
I don't know if that's actually the case.
Well, so yeah, they haven't announced who the clergy members are yet.
So the High Justice concludes her statement, again, thanking the people of Greylock that in response to the obvious challenges that have been going on, food shortages, goods shortages, trade interruptions, they're going to be announcing a few relief efforts through the churches in order to bolster trade as much as possible. And they will be relying heavily upon everyone to contribute as much as possible, to donate what they can, to be distributed, and to, above all, have faith, and all will be well. So, as the High Justice concludes and the clergy starts to break up, and the crowd is, of course, talking amongst themselves, as a en masse, you guys are sort of stuck in the middle of this beehive. A younger page wearing the gray tunic of Grennan hunts you down with a message that the Conclave would like to speak to you one last time this evening in private, back in the meeting hall. They promise not to take too much of your time.
Okay. Everybody good with that? At least this way we can figure out exactly who is getting announced as the clergy members.
The fact they're keeping us in the loop is a good thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I suppose we won't really find out till we get there.
So, group travels back to the Conclave. You arrive about the same time that the clergy does. So there's this weird kind of awkward moment where everyone's getting into their seats and you're all kind of like on the same level for a second. And then everyone gets into their chairs and they get to be all important again. You guys are all sitting down in circle. But for a moment, you're all just kind of wandering your way to your jobs. And again, it is the Justice who speaks for the group. I assume you heard the announcement?
We were out in the crowd, yes.
Good. I hope you will agree that this is the most rational course of action, given what we know.
I certainly think it is a generous compromise.
As long as it's flexible and willing to change, since I think it should be good.
That is a ringing endorsement that I am happy to take at this point. She looks very tired. She looks like she's had a long day. Now, to the matter at hand, I didn't call you here to tell us how brilliant we are. We would like to... Well, first, I should say that we have cleared you of all involvement. We no longer consider you a threat to the city or to Her Grace in any way.
We never were, but okay, thanks.
Lily
We were?
squeaked a bit at the fact that they were apparently considered threats.
The justice just sort of rattles it off as if it were just, yeah, we're fine. She doesn't seem to give it much weight. She's like, yeah, just so you know, you're fine. We would like to utilize you as much as possible. As you I'm sure understand, we are stretched very thin, both with the aftermath of the incident and our guests upon the door. We have a lot of different directions and not a lot of soldiers to send. So we were hoping that we could employ you in some manner. There is, of course, disagreement on which direction to send you. And she looks meaningfully around the room. Many tasks to complete. We were curious if you had any input as to how you would prefer to be utilized.
Well, I have one thing that I think would be very nice to address, which is the fact that Orm is still at the door and they're still sending in those things to poison Cat. Let's not mince words about what we're pretty sure they're doing.
Justice raises her hand a little bit. And we don't have evidence on that. We are happy to change Captain Leofera's custody arrangements to something more conducive to healing.
Lily raises her hand like she's in class.
Mistress Lanfryd, yes.
Obviously, this would be, this is obviously not just my decision. It would have to be, but I'd like to tend to the possibility, should the rest of the party agree, the investigation possibly of these shipments. They are very concerning. Even if you remove Captain Leofera from the equation, just the herbs, what their uses are and the quantities are very concerning, and I think the investigation of these could be something we could be useful in. It's a possibility. I'm not trying to make a decision for anybody, just tendering.
She nods because on that we agree. We definitely want more information on these shipments. Obviously, if they are a potential hazard to us, we want them to stop. We want them tracked down. We could also use help in securing the passage of our far-flung ambassador. There's also been a question of several ships that have gone missing between the east side of the continent and ourselves that could use some tending. Several members of the conclave have suggested seeking out additional medical assistance, perhaps in Freyhaven or Estersea, places slightly beyond our reach at the moment, as much of our fleet was decimated in the incident. As I said, we have many different directions, all of which equally important and limited resources. So whichever way you feel you would be most valuable, we are willing to assist you to the best of our ability.
For a moment, can we have a sidebar real quick? I turn around to the group.
Of course.
So yes, we want to find this stuff, but we also want to find out what that Heart of Shadow thing is.
Where it is.
And now, where it is. And now, since we kind of have their gratitude, if we're doing something for them, we can use their influence and reach to try to figure out exactly what that is.
If not only that, but if we take the Freyhaven job, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Freyhaven? It wasn't. Freyhaven wasn't one of the random. Wasn't one of the places it was rumored to potentially be, but the Forge Islands was. Isn't that in like the general oceanic vicinity of Freyhaven? Maybe.
Freyhaven is at the dead center of the world. Like Freyhaven is a collection of islands in the center of the ocean. Forge Islands are actually very close to Greylock.
Oh.
They're off the coast. Same coast. I mean, same direction, but much, much farther north.
So would
than
you say
Freyhaven.
the Forge Islands would be on the way to Freyhaven?
Could be, if you don't mind taking a small detour. And yes, as Sin points out, you do have a marker from someone in Freyhaven, and there are pirates in Freyhaven.
Yes.
if that influences your decision at
so
all.
many pirates
There
in
are
there.
indeed pirates in Freyhaven. It is a pirate. It is
That
the
would
largest.
be the perfect excuse for Hildreth to wear an eye patch.
Yeah, there you go.
Plus, you know what pirates are good at? Sharing stories. We might hear stories about the Heart of Shadow over
That
there.
is true. They do like
So-
to talk.
If we take the Freyhaven job they were offering, we could investigate the Forge Islands along the way, which is one of the potential locations. And then if that pans out to nothing, we can go to Freyhaven, sort out whatever needs to be sorted out, gather information that's available. But that seems like it's also going to be a very long job. So maybe we could investigate, since this is fairly immediate, we could investigate the herbs and shipments first and then do that? Glancing around uncertainly at everybody.
I am more comfortable with the herbs and plants than I am with ocean life.
As much as
That
I
being
want
said-
to go.
It's okay. You don't have to come with us, Hildreth.
I was going to say, whichever choice you choose, I will follow till the end of the earth.
That is
Or
that.
will my employers say to stop?
Neither one of those ways that you phrased that gives me very much confidence in you.
As much as I want to go on and be a pirate in Freyhaven, we do have more of a pressing issue here.
Yeah, I know.
But
And
I
also,
suppose one thing that we could try to do along the way is, Orem does have a sea route that we could be looking into disrupting in some way.
yes, and I do think last time we did something here in Greylock and then left immediately. We came back and things were quite frankly strange and in a lot of ways awful. I think maybe if we did this, we might be able to see how the dust settles and then be like, oh, well, this is fine. We can go now. Or, oh, maybe we should talk to somebody to see if maybe we can get this tweaked a bit because it's not really fine as it is kind of thing. Having the opportunity to see how the dust is going to settle from this would be less surprising.
Yeah. So go out, try to intercept, or at least clear the roadways for stuff to get back to Greylock, because Orem is messing with that and using it as a route to bring in their drugs. Or
So, shipment
or
and then
herbs.
Freyhaven?
yeah, well, how about we find one shipment, stake out the road that they're using, come back with that information.
I have an important question.
Okay.
Should we not save the drugs for a later time?
Should we not save what?
Investigating the drugs for a later time.
Well,
I believe for Xylund's mental sake,
oh,
sanity seems to be slipping, so I feel we should first go on a sea adventure, get him the supplies he's going to need to last, so that when we come back and end this trade and illegal smuggling of drugs and substances into the city, he will be able to survive.
But we're not gonna.
Are you
be
saying that we
doing
need to
this.
go to Freyhaven to get Xylund drugs because
Hold on,
we
hold
can't
on.
find any here?
Hildreth, those aren't the drugs we're referring to. We're referring to various herbs and plants that are, and show him the list of the herbs and plants that we're actually talking about. These are the ones that we're referring to.
Unimportant. If we're getting rid of all illicit trade of substances like this in the city, we need to be thorough. We can't limit ourselves just to this. What sort of people would we be if we didn't do that?
Well, do you have an issue with drugs?
No, I'm just looking out for Friends Island.
It just seems like we've never had another member of our party who was not cool with drugs. Like, Mushnik was basically drugs on a person, and
Mushnik
Ulrich definitely got high sometimes.
What I'm saying is, we're not worried about this because of illicit trade. We're worried about this because we don't want Aurum poisoning the city water supplies with it, and potentially killing/incapacitating the entire city. We're not concerned about the illicit trade. That's not what the investigation here is about.
Yeah.
We're trying to see what they're trying to do with it, and if necessary, put a stop to that.
Have you
So-
considered that if we let the city die, we can raise an army of ghosts to help us against whatever greater evil is out there?
I'm not.
I think the
comfortable
end
with that
goal is the
plan.
city.
I'm not comfortable with that
So-
plan. Definitely not comfortable with it.
There will
Uh,
still be a city for people to move into
no,
afterwards.
we're-
The infrastructure itself will be remaining. People have to die eventually anyways, why not put them to use?
Let's not. Say we
Hildreth,
did.
do you know the definition of empathy?
No.
I thought so.
Okay, that's fair. Let's just put a pin in that. Save that for Plan Z. Plan Z.
Yes.
Literally last resort. Okay. So,
Why is everyone else afraid of ghosts?
it's not that I'm afraid of ghosts. I just don't want these people to die. They're good people. They give me books and other
You
supplies.
just take the books if they're all dead.
That wouldn't be right.
It's
Anyways,
not
we're
about
moving
right,
on.
it's about efficient.
You're going down a very dangerous line of thought there, Ulrich.
I live it. Ulrich?
Sorry, I mean
Yeah.
Hildreth.
No, I think you said what you meant.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a slip.
So,
I have given
Okay.
my feedback. The rest is on you to decide.
So let's investigate the herbs because that could be put into place at pretty much any time with what the quantities are being shipped. Furthermore, the quantities they already have are potentially catastrophic in terms of damage, depending on how they're used. So we should also not just do something about the shipments, but also see if we can investigate what the actual end state is, so that we can hopefully put a stop to that as well. Or maybe we can get with some of the clerics and look into purifying water sources, so that in the event of an issue, there's plans and infrastructure. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited.
Anyways, yeah, I think we'll tell him. So, look at the routes first. Try to find the source of this trade. Potentially try to free up the trade routes from the farmsteads that are feeding Greylock. Come back, report back. Hopefully try to get information out of them on the Heart of Shadows. Or talk to one church about that. See what they can get out of it. And then leave and do the stuff in Freyhaven. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So, break out of our quick 5-second huddle.
That went a lot longer than 5 seconds.
I know, but it was 5 seconds because I said
Yeah,
it was 5
sure
seconds.
it was. Clearly.
Also,
5
nobody
seconds.
could hear us at all.
Of course not.
Anyways,
All right.
so we're like, okay, we would like to look further into these shipments and help potentially secure the trade routes back to Greylock. At least for right now.
All right.
I would also like, if possible, talk to, if anybody's in charge of the the city's water supplies. It'd be. Are there any plans in place if something happens to them? That can be, so they can be purified and people be treated, maybe.
We don't have any indication, but yes, I mean we could,
Okay.
if we knew the nature of the poison.
Well, the pulls out one of the remaining copies of notes. These are some of the things that can be made with these shipments. I'm not saying that this is what they're going to use them for. I'm not, but it is a possibility, and if we're prepared, damage would be limited. I think we're going to be investigating these shipments, but also seeing if we can find out the intentions, maybe, of their use. Best case scenario, it's utterly benign, and then maybe just support of the relief effort. Worst case scenario, it's very bad. And she'll, I guess, I don't know if it's kind of like in a court where you hand stuff to a bailiff who hands stuff to the judge.
Yeah,
or if
pretty
you can hand
much.
stuff directly to the justice.
No,
I'm not sure.
if you hold it out, yeah, a minion will come, a cleric will come, and scoop it up.
And those are just what I know of that can be made with these ingredients. I'm sure there's more. And they also have some of my theories of what those ingredients could be used for, either separately or all together. It's very comprehensive.
She thanks you. So you would like to be put on this investigation?
If agreeable.
That's fine. It is totally at your discretion. We will assemble teams for the other jobs, and we will leave this matter to you. If you find out anything, of course, we ask that you report not only to the Argent Order, but to the Autonova Conclave as well, to myself as well. It would be appreciated. The entire conclave will be dismissed for the moment, so I'll be coordinating anything after that.
Okay. Looks at Davynn. Anything else?
This means we're gonna start beating up Orm, right?
Maybe.
Okay, fine. Sneakily beating up Orm.
Probably.
I'm satisfied with that. Also,
Looks
mage rights and all that.
Looks at Kern. Do you have anything else, Kern?
Sorry, I just blinked out for about 5 minutes. But no.
Basically, Lily handed over a pile of notes to the justice, with everything those herbs could be used for, both separately and together, that she knows of, and potential things, potential use cases, so that they can be prepared in case of like poisoned water supply or something.
Yeah.
Then they said, okay, cool. If you want to look into this, that's totally awesome. We'll make teams for the other stuff, and report findings to Argent Order and to herself, since the conclave's being dismissed.
Yeah.
Is the Argent Order actually cool? Like, are we sure that we trust I guess the Argent Order I'm kind of okay with because of certain members of them, but the rest of the Rildanian Church and stuff?
We also need to figure out who the 3 people are, the 3 clerics that were nominated.
Oh, that's an easy enough question.
Yeah.
The 3 clerics that will be serving will be the High Protector. Okay.
Of course.
The High Protector will be serving. The Seer of Middleine will be serving.
Mm-hmm. That's my girl.
And the and Fire Father Red Digger of Firefather's Church.
Yeah, he's pretty cool as well.
Will be serving. The political representative will be Ralik Hartney,
Rallic.
As in Gale's brother?
as in Gale's brother.
Oh god damn it! This is turning out to be a lot worse than I
He's-
thought it was.
He's actively affiliated with Orem.
That's yeah. They came into the city earlier today.
Well, at least we got a man on the inside.
As well as whoever is coming from Nisali's clan.
Yes, her name is Rusaleto, and they will send word to her right away.
Okay.
This is... see, this is why I said we should stay in the area for a while, so that these things can be observed.
We need to stay in town until Cat gets released, though.
I think that would probably be a good idea, just so that when we leave, we know that somebody is going to be working on it.
Yeah.
How do you spell Ralek? Is it just R-A-L-E-K?
I just put down Gale's brother.
Yeah. Yep. Rallic Hartney,
Okay.
Gale's brother. One
And
of three.
then, who's the one coming from Nizali's clan?
The ambassador is Rusa.
Leto.
Was that
I missed one letter in each of those words.
was that the one? Was that the ambassador that they were like, we need to get our far-flung ambassador back?
Yeah.
Like, did we potentially entrust her safety to group of randos?
Yes.
That's bad.
I mean, we have to choose.
Yeah,
Like, you
that's
can't do
and
everything.
that's really it. Is everything is time sensitive. So if you want to jump on the trade stuff, you're welcome to do that. They will send another team to go get the ambassador. If you choose to go get the ambassador, they will send another team to investigate trade routes. If you do your own thing and you go to Freyhaven and do more of that investigation, then they will send teams out to do the other two. So you choose the branch that you want to
problem
walk
I
in.
do
have,
both.
the problem I have is I'm concerned about the ambassador being suborned through, whatever means, or even just held captive, or, like, oh no, she was killed by bandits because we sent a bunch of scribes to escort her or something. Oh, we were so short-manned. Like, that's what I'm. That's my concern.
We gotta choose. It's either that or we let somebody else do this, and then like, oh, sorry, we didn't find anything.
I hate to say this, but should we split the party?
No, we're not splitting the party. No.
Well, see, the thing is, it would be difficult to split the party because you'll need the ship to go get Rusa. And
We
it
need
takes,
everybody in the party to
Yeah,
run that ship.
it takes the majority of you to run the ship.
Even Hildreth?
Even Hildreth, yes.
Aw,
even
there
Hildreth.
is a place for Hildreth on the boat.
She said most of the party.
Well, one or two can it doesn't take all of you to run it at a single time, but it takes them because you don't have any additional crew. You haven't hired anybody else, so
We
it
are
does
Or we can't
take the
afford
majority
more
of
people.
you to run the ship.
And
It's a
and
big ship.
that's at like any single moment, which means if you don't have the full party, nobody gets a break.
Yeah, basically. And the only thing that kind of benefits you is that you do have so many casters. Not only do you have an actual cleric of Inaline, which is helpful, but you do have other casters that have power over water, wind, so on and so forth. To make that a little easier with Unseen Servant and other things like that, you can sort of
Unseen
make up for that
Servant,
lack of manpower.
Animate object.
Yeah, you can bolster your numbers that way, but it will take the vast majority of you to run that ship. Even so, unless you want to hire a crew, which you do not have the funds for.
Yeah. we don't really have the funds to hire a crew.
Not for the length of time, it would, especially if either going to the other side of the continent, because it is literally the other side of the continent, or going to Freyhaven. Those are both very long journeys.
Well,
You
maybe
don't
if
have that
Greylock
kind of money.
tax code weren't so bad.
Listen.
So we're gonna just have to trust that whatever team they send to the ambassador is not gonna be, Aurum plants.
You're gonna
Even
have
though,
to.
like,
we have
half
to
the
do
council is
that either
Aurum.
way. Like,
You can't really. You can't. You can't man the ship and stay on land at the same time.
Yeah.
Where you go, you all gotta go.
Yeah.
Let's go to get the ambassador. That seems like the most important thing.
you guys want to get the ambassador? Well, I'm fine with either one.
It seems like there's going to be, if these herbs are used to poison the water supply, it seems like there's a response for that now that they have the information. If it's used for any other means, then not much we can do about that. But the ambassador, I am genuinely concerned about the possibility of capture or subordination.
Plus, we can get a new friend.
And I'm assuming we've already left the chambers at this point.
I would
Well,
hope so. Yeah.
we need to do like a complete 180 on what we told them to do.
Because, honestly, half the council is already in Orm's pocket if our suspicions are correct. And if worst case scenario, the High Protector is the one who's making a lot of these orders.
I know. And if we can get one more person on our side, that's better.
Hey, remember how I said I wanted to burn this place down, basically?
Yeah.
You see why now?
And the political member is literally an officer in Orm's army.
Wrong one. Wrong brother.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought Rallick was the one.
There's two brothers.
Nope. He's got three.
Oh.
He has
okay,
three
gotcha.
brothers. Yeah, his middle brother is the politician. He's got one brother that serves in Orem and one brother that serves in Valwall.
Well, I'm still concerned.
So, yeah.
I don't trust any member of that family that isn't Gale. And I don't even know Gale. I just know that he's submitted some very clever reports.
Gale's the best.
So that's two potential members that are going to be heavy Orem advocates.
Which is why I agree with you. We need to get Rusa on our side so that they can override that.
And make sure that she's not going to be ambushed and killed, captured, or turned against Greylock in general.
Yes.
If we're concerned about the people staying in charge.
Where are you?
You came from nowhere.
I do that by now. You should be used to it. If we're
You
expecting,
never want to get used to that.
if we're expecting the people of the city to be ruling it unfairly, shouldn't we stay and keep an eye on them?
I think
Partially, but we do need to make sure that at least, our possible biggest ally would still be around, I guess.
Yeah.
And we also need to make sure that, even if they're not ruling it fairly and we keep an eye on them, what recourse do we have that wouldn't potentially cause mass chaos and anarchy and give Orem an invitation, essentially?
If everyone's dead, there's no way to have anarchy.
That's true.
Still a problem. Still a problem. That's
I look
that
I
is
look
a
at Davin, I'm
failed
like,
scenario, Hildreth.
Fair, Davin. Don't you dare start to make it acknowledging that he has a point.
I'm just saying that he is technically correct in saying that.
Hildreth, if everybody in the city is dead, Ghost Army or not, it is a failed scenario. We lost if everybody dies. That is the losing condition. I am setting it now. I'm writing it down. Losing conditions. Everyone is dead. All right? So we can just put a pin in that.
To be fair, also, just writing it down clearly doesn't make things happen, because otherwise we would have probably done something about this by now.
So
Going to go get the ambassador.
we should let the High Justice know.
That we changed our minds immediately after walking out of the place.
Do you think we should say anything about our concerns?
Nope.
Any reason why we changed our minds?
Sailing sounds like fun.
We are.
Because
We
that's
have a
the-
ship, and we don't want to tax Greylock even more by having them send other ships that could be used for trading.
That's excellent. That's exactly what we were looking for,
Because
Kern.
otherwise, our ship would just be sitting in the harbor.
That's actually a very good point, Kern, and that is a good reason to switch. We can say we thought about the logistics, and now it's not going to seem
Yes.
extremely strange when we go in there saying we want the different job.
Yes. Cool. All right. Everybody cool with that?
Just about, I guess.
I swore I'd go with whatever choice you made.
All right. Well, looks like we got a plan.
All
I
right.
still say that we should, go beat up Orm directly in some way.
I feel like that's just a matter of time, Davynn, until...
Davynn?
Time couldn't come fast enough, honestly.
Well, Davynn, think about this. If my suspicions are correct, then we're going to have an Orem ambush to deal with pretty soon, actually.
Do
And
not worry, friend Davynn. My plan was shot down as well.
and by the time that we get there, I could potentially be 7/10 of my way to my full potential.
7/10 on my way to my full
You
potential.
mark out your potential in tenths.
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm about 6/10.
How do you know what your full potential is in order to mark
I
that?
just got a feeling.
Strange.
He's a smart person, that's all.
So you guys do an about face. Head back to the Autonova Conclave. Catch the Justice in her chambers as all the other clergy have filtered out for the evening. And the Justice herself looks like she's packing up to head to her home. And she hears your updated plan. To instead strike out on the high seas, which she is fine with.
Yeah.
She produces a very official looking, like it's got fancy wax seals and ribbons and stuff on it, but it is, it's affixed with the symbol of Greylock, and it's basically just your letters of marque. It just says that very specifically you are on a diplomatic mission on behalf of Greylock. And she assures you that the letter to Rusa is already on its way. It was done this morning. So she should be aware of the circumstances. And in addition to the letter of marque, she's able to give you the sea charts that you'll need to navigate between here and the pickup location. Because again, there aren't very many ports on that side of the continent. So you'll have to be very careful. There's only a couple that are large enough to accommodate a ship of your size. So she has a few of them marked for you. That way you'll be able to navigate better.
Yeah. And I look at it, and one of the ports is probably where I started my journey and left out of my hometown, probably.
Yeah, one of them, there's a couple, because there's the Redbone Mountains basically cut the continent in half, other than a strip of marsh at the bottom. So yeah, you probably landed on the Greylock side of things, but it is marked on the map. There are several ports that have been marked on that side as places of respite if you need them, but there's only 3 that can accommodate a ship of your size. And then on the Valwall side, there are even fewer. There are only 2 because of how polluted the land on that side has become since the crack.
Gotcha.
There only are a couple that have the stability to maintain docks large enough for a ship of your size. And traveling through the mire is very difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, she has that prepared, and she just gives it to you instead of the packet for the crew. And again, thanks you all for your service and bids you Godspeed and best of luck.
Please let me go the fuck to sleep.
Yes, she does seem very tired.
One more question.
One more thing.
Okay, one more thing.
You
Yes.
mentioned a member of my family that has been causing problems.
Those are the reports that we've received, yes. There's been increased piratical activity across the board, but it has come to our attention, the Order's attention, that one of them may have ties to you, yes.
Do you happen to know a name?
Only description, as she seems to go by a nom de guerre.
A what? She?
Name of what?
A nom de guerre.
Pseudonym.
Pseudonym, yeah. A nom de guerre.
No.
But yeah, name of war. It's like Jack Dangerous.
Yes.
All right. So what is it again?
What did I say, or what is her nom de guerre?
Yeah, what's her nom de guerre?
She goes by the name Spirit Caller.
Oh, well, that's not
Oh
concerning at all.
God, damn it! All right. Well, that eliminates half the possibility. It's not who I thought it was.
How lucky for you to still have family that's alive.
Yeah.
That's a strange time to offer that sentiment there, Hildreth.
All
Is
right.
it not?
I mean,
I don't
sure
know.
it is, but you don't really say that to someone when they've just been informed that this family member is, well, possibly their family member is a criminal, so. And it also seems kind of petty, like, oh, feel grateful that your family's alive because mine's not, you bastard,
Well,
kind of thing.
I
to
do.
be fair,
It's a
he is right. It is nicer to have a family that is alive and possibly on the run and a criminal than not.
Thank you, friend Davynn.
You know, Davin, you've been agreeing with Hildreth an awful lot in the past half hour.
He's not that bad. He's just creepy as shit.
I mean, no, he's not that bad. It's just, you know, it's just something I remarked upon. I wasn't meaning anything by it.
All right.
Okay.
Anyways,
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I consider you a true friend, Davynn.
Oh, thank you.
Aw.
He
anyways,
also thinks that people are better off dead than alive.
Not necessarily, they're just more effective that way.
as we walk away and we're actually out of the conclave, Lily is gonna kind of sidle up to Kern, like, so about this sailing thing.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm not really the most athletically inclined of our group.
Yeah.
But I do have, and she's thinks for a moment, is like, I'll actually show you later. But I do have 3 things that could potentially help with the things that wouldn't have us relying on my lackluster physical performance.
Cool. Yeah. No.
And when they get back to the end, she'll pull out her book and show him Unseen Servant, Animate Objects, and Shape Water, and be like,
Yeah.
I don't know if any of these will actually be useful, so since you're the one who actually has experience on the ship, that you just tell me what you need and I'll do my best.
The hardest part is getting underway and dealing with uncooperative weather. And really, with uncooperative weather, it's really a 50-50 on whether you make it through or not. So even if we do crash, it's probably not going to be your fault. It's probably actually my fault since I named the ship that name.
Is there something significant about the name?
Oh, it's just every ship that's had this name has crashed.
Why would you name it that?
Because it was a cool ship to be on.
Well, if we get enough raw materials, even in the event of something of whether. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't really work. I'll think on that.
We'll be fine.
All right. So
Wait, Kern, did you just say we'll be fine?
We'll be fine.
I don't think I've ever heard you say that we'll be fine before.
No.
You used to say it all the time before he got paranoid.
I don't think I've always been paranoid, and it's always been sarcastic.
Okay, it is sarcastic. Whew, thank God.
All right. So you guys are able to go back to the inn, enjoy your last night.
Well, we're gonna be
Greylock.
staying until we're sure that cat is released to better custody.
Are you? Okay.
Right? Because I feel like that's an important thing to do, right?
I feel like we should ask about that
Yeah, that was never
because I
really
don't
made
think they're gonna let us just kind of twiddle our thumbs until it happens when we have the diplomatic papers for Ambassador Rusa. Like we should ask about it. We should ask about it tomorrow.
I can go in tomorrow morning and get like Kat's idea on like what would be good, and
Yeah.
like tell her like what's going on, because I feel like Kat's probably just gonna escape by herself, honestly.
Well, yeah, and also, while you're doing that, we could also maybe ask, maybe Seer Sariv or whoever, what the actual plan is before we head out. But I don't think we can just sit and wait until something happens. I think.
Okay.
I don't think we can actually wait that long.
Okay.
It's up to you.
We will do our best in the time before we set sail tomorrow, then,
Okay.
to make sure that cat is taken care of.
Yeah, if you give like Lily or somebody a list of things that needs to get done or any supplies that need to be gotten while you're doing that, so that we're still working on setting sail, then either her, Davynn, or Hildreth or whoever can take care of that.
Yeah. I just write out a whole big list of alchemist supplies.
Hey!
That works.
All right. So you do have a little bit of time in the morning in order for the ship to be stocked with rations, and that is coming out of Greylock's pocket.
Yes.
A lot of it is donated by the Temple of Inaline. Some of the other churches are kicking in as well. So you will have full complement of food, basic tools, everything you'll need to start the journey effectively. And the ship is complete, seaworthy, ready to go. During that time where they're actually laying in all the supplies, Kern, if you want to travel and visit Kat, that's certainly a thing you can do. She is still in the jails of the Conclave. You're treated very much same as last time. Guard stays in the room. Kat looks about the same, but she does confirm that yes, she's been told that she's going to be moved to a different location. She hasn't been told where, but they are supposed to move her later that day.
Okay. All right. Well, if you need anything, let us know. You have my permission to do that stuff. 'Cause remember last time I was like, yeah, don't do it without.
She kind of laughs. Informed consent is always good.
Yes.
I
Well-
will keep in touch. Don't drown and die. There's some really nasty characters on the waters these days.
I kind of just put my head in my hands. So I've heard.
She too bids you farewell.
Cool.
Hopefully she will be in a better place next time you see her. I don't mean dead.
Yeah. Hildreth
Yeah, Hildreth.
Hildreth
I heard that giggle.
spending his time visiting with I'll stretch first with Sage Umaveris to talk to her about her opinions on the Regency and the mission they're about to go on.
Oh, well, the sage is generally pleased. She thought it was a good compromise. She does confirm that the Conclave is very leery about releasing Lanathea, even though she is technically still in custody. Many of the Conclave, basically, they just make her very nervous for multiple reasons. But that was a concession they made because of not only the previous work that the group has done, but also the investigative work that you've done while you've been in town.
Oh.
That was seen as a concession to you and a way to get you to remain invested in the city. But she is pleased that you are going to greet the ambassador. She's never met this particular ambassador, although she has met others from her Grace's tribe, and she's always found them to be fascinating people.
Well, I guess before going, Hildreth will express how he wishes he could have stayed behind to save the city from the poison, so he could spend more time with the sage herself.
Aw.
But he understands he has to go. Duty calls.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
it getting on there?
Yes. Listen, whatever works, man.
He's not contractually obligated to spy on her. He doesn't have any
Nope.
problem fraternizing with people.
That's fair.
No. Again, she reciprocates that she bids you good travel and safe travels, that they will do what they can to ferret out what information and protect the city as much as possible. And of course, if Hildreth needs anything at all, the temple is always open to him, and she, of course, expects to see him back at his earliest convenience.
Oh.
That's about as charismatic as Hildreth gets.
By the way, Iria, I don't think this was ever brought up, but in the notes that we gave to the Conclave, Lily definitely included that the High Protector was one of the people who was making orders.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know
sure.
if they actually did anything with that,
I have no doubt. You did give all of your information. You didn't hold any of it back. And again, it's difficult to say what the Conclave discussed behind closed doors, but apparently either they didn't weigh that as heavily as you would have liked, or there were some very tricky negotiations going on.
Yeah,
Probably the latter.
probably the latter. Or they just dismissed it as, oh, whatever. Or they're all in on it, and we're actually
No, that
playing
might
right
be
into their
it.
hands.
Maybe they're all in on it and they're just tricking you.
I'll believe it.
But yeah, no one seemed to make any comment, even when you asked. The list of Regency members, council members, was given in a very matter-of-fact manner, like there was no commentary or anything. So the justice was pretty close-lipped on that. It didn't appear to be up for discussion.
Makes sense.
So who knows? Probably have to see how that shakes out. But yes, I assume that information was part of your packet as well as the discussion. All right, so Hildreth charms the sage.
Kind of.
Color Ellenval. Once more. And as smooth as Hildreth can get. And is anyone gonna go get Xylund? Or are you just gonna leave him in the butterfly temple? Yeah, he's still high. He's still high off his nut in the butterfly temple. He's
God.
pupating.
Since everybody else is busy, once Lily's done getting whatever is on the list Kern gave her, she's gonna remember Xylund and then go grab him.
Okay, so you get to go to the Temple of Zana. where
I thought Xylund was with us.
no, he's been in the temple this whole time. He's been He's been high on Bloodmoth's working on his armor this whole time. You haven't seen him in days. I know. You haven't seen him in days.
Lily's just gonna have the thought. I wonder what Xylund thinks about. Oh, Xylund. She's gonna make her way to the temple and just be like, "Excuse me, can you? Xylund was here a few days ago. Do you know where he said he was going when he left?"
He's still here. They'll lead you back to his workshop.
Please. Thank you.
Is Xylund still naked?
As you get closer to the workshop, you hear the sound of Xylund singing Zana hymns at full volume behind his door.
We're about to find out if he's still naked, though.
Everyone gets to see him naked but Hildreth. I see how it is.
Aww.
Hey, Xylund.
Because Hildreth was taking notes.
That's why Hildreth is in the arms of another woman right now.
Aww.
Knock, knock. Xylund, you there? Cracks
I'm
door open.
Becoming! Leave me alone!
You're becoming. What are you becoming?
Xylund, are you alright? Cracks door a little bit wider.
You see Xylund is still naked, kind of covered with finger paint. So is his armor.
Oh god!
What did you do? What did you do?
I'm busy!
Xylund!
Leave me be!
Xylund! Put some clothes on, for the love of all that's holy.
I've evolved beyond shame. His eyes are
Davynn?
wild.
Is Davynn there?
Yes.
Davynn, do me a favor, and then she'll, like, without looking in, open the door, shove Davynn inside, and close the door.
Why did you do that? Why would you do this to me, Lily?
I'm sorry, but you're better equipped to handle this than I am.
Lily, it's okay. He's just a person. He can't hurt you. Oh God, Tyler, please don't hurt me.
Xylund will come towards you with his arms spread wide, and then he'll just enfold you in them and go, shh. It's all right. It's all right.
I don't believe you.
All his finger paint gets all over you.
What are you doing? Why are you naked?
Xylund,
Saving the
please put
world.
some clothes on.
Is there like a fantasy naloxone, some kind of thing?
Lily's got shape water.
You're on the other side of the door.
Yup.
So no.
Okay.
Lily could probably make a purgative if you ask her.
Look what I
Okay.
made. He'll start putting on his armor without bothering to put on his clothes first. It's now big and bulky like it used to be,
It's very pretty.
and it's covered with like really crude sort of finger painted butterflies.
Are you okay? Do I need to call a doctor?
Look at me. Do I look okay?
No, you do not.
I'm an iron goddamn butterfly.
All right.
Davynn, do you need help in there? Is he dressed?
Really, I need clothing. Get me some diamond-sized clothing.
Okay. Flags down, random gnome. Help, maybe?
Well, you passed basically a makeshift market on your way in here, so you can. I mean, he'll just lead you back front, and while most of the wares are obviously geared towards gnomes, you can get, Xylund's thin enough. You can definitely get some pants and a tunic that would fit him.
Okay. I don't care
Relatively
about
well.
color or quality.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
just want
say, they're
something to
just-
cover them with.
They're run of the mill, nothing special about them. They're just handmade. Yeah, you can definitely find something for a few copper pieces. No big deal.
Thank you. You might want to be careful about the workshops around here. They have surprises that are not pleasant. And just kind of 1,000-yard stare as she purchases the clothes and walks away.
Meanwhile, back in the workshop. All right.
Mhm.
You remember me, right? I'm Davynn.
Right, potato boy.
Yes. We'll address that hurtful comment later, but yes, Davynn from Whitfeld.
Sorry, Potato Man. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you. I am a man now. I'm glad that that is the part that I was offended about. What did you take, and how much of it?
He's sort of grinding his teeth as he thinks. It doesn't really matter. It threw up some doors. I walked through the doors. Now I'm on the other side of the doors.
It matters a whole lot. Because, I mean, I don't know what your tolerance levels are, but I feel like you should be dead.
Well, I mean, if you want me to step back through the doors, I can do that.
No. Don't walk through any doors or gateways or bright lights or anything along those lines. Just chill here for a bit.
Door cracks open.
I'm pupating still.
What?
Hand holding closed, but that's it. Just the hand. Here you go.
Thank you, Lily. What does pupating mean?
It's something butterflies do.
I mean, what does it mean in this situation?
He's become the Iron Butterfly.
It's essentially when they wrap themselves in a cocoon where they're about to metamorphosize into a different entity, usually a butterfly or a moth or something similar.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna take the clothes from Lily. All right, Xylund, I'm gonna put your cocoon on you now, okay? So that you can evolve and pupate. And I will attempt to clothe him.
Don't try to patronize me. I see what you're doing here. I will humor you. I will pretend to be a man, if that will satisfy you. You man, says it with scorn. Takes off his armor again, puts on the clothes.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, Xylund, here's the thing. We're going to go off and pick up a diplomat who will help us to deal with the situation here.
There's a situation.
The situation is Nysali is temporarily stepping down, and there is a council. I'll tell you about it when you're sober.
Davynn, is he dressed now?
Yes, moderately. I think he still needs to put on pants.
Okay, once he does so, I can see if I can whip up a purging draught or restorative to
Just
see.
do
if
it now.
Well, I need to know what he's taken.
I know what purging means. I'm going to shit myself. No, thank you.
Well, that is one way of purging, yes, but I was thinking more of the vomiting type.
I'm fine. I'm better than fine.
Are you?
I don't know why
good
you can't
here?
see what I see.
Because we are sober. Do you need more time in your workshop, or are you good to leave with us and go be a privateer?
Oh. Yeah, let's do that. Sounds like fun.
All right, sweet. Put on your pants first.
Put on my pants. Grudgingly.
Thank you. I appreciate your willingness to work with me.
So, I tried to get Hildreth to wear a pirate patch earlier. Do you think he'll be more willing now?
Maybe.
Kern
doesn't seem to want him to come with, but, that's Kern standard.
Well, if you can get him to stay behind, that'd be something.
Maybe we should keep him around. He's weird, but he's at least kind of on our side.
I'm not saying we should leave him behind. I'm just saying that would be quite an achievement if he could manage it. He's not going to manage it. I'm just saying.
Okay, cool. Well, off to the ship docks. Lily, we're good on that purge thing.
Okay. That was a traumatizing sight I did not need this morning, or any morning.
How much more do you have, Xylund?
Of what?
Of whatever you're on.
Butterfly energy?
Yes, how much more butterfly energy do you have?
Infinite amounts. Infinite amounts. I've stopped
Okay.
tapping into it for the moment. just because you seem to be getting a little disturbed by my channeling.
I was actually going to ask you if you had any more for me to also get high and forget this.
No, you can't handle it. I'm sorry. You're still too hung up on being a man.
I'm a dragon boy. Dragon man.
man.
Actually, you was
Man.
just a dragon.
Wait, are you just a butterfly now? No more man? You're not a butterfly man?
I'm sure that I'll eventually phase back into being a man.
Wait, where's your wings then?
They're all over me. Are you blind?
No, I'm not.
Oh my god.
I'm going to hold Xylund's hand as I walk, if you allow it.
Okay.
He does not strangely protest. He lets you hold his hand. He even gives it a squeeze.
Aw. Okay, that's fine.
Davynn, can you take care of Xylund for a bit? I need to check something before we leave.
You are not leaving me holding him.
All right, you can come along, but not a word to anybody, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
Lily's gonna go see if she has mail from at both the temple and the inn.
You still seem very tense. Start giving Dav a massage.
What are you doing? Stop it! Oh, actually, that does feel good. Yes.
All right, so Butterfly Man is massaging Potato Man.
Dragon Potato Man.
Dragon Potato Man. As Lily checks her mail.
Awkwardly cringing at every single person.
Yeah, you haven't received any mail as of yet.
Okay.
But you guys have effectively as much time as you want, but I assume you want to get rolling as quickly as you can. So once the ship is stocked and everyone is on it in various stages of sobriety, you can get yourself settled. And the Church of Tenem, as you pass through the docks on your way to the ship, they have kept to their word. They do have several parcels that they would appreciate if you would drop off. And the cleric takes your sea charts and puts a mark where they need to go. It looks like a small island cluster that is directly across the channel from one of the docks on the bow wall side.
It's like on the way though, right?
Yeah, it's direct. Like I said, it's on the bow wall side of the mountains. It's directly across from one of the places you can dock. So yeah, it's not a great detour for you. It is on the way. So no great shakes there.
All right.
But yes, if you could take that, they would be appreciative. And you are loaded with food and rough materials and anything that they could think of to load you up with. You've got your paperwork, you've got your sea charts, you've got everybody ready. Yeah. So you are able to set sail. Off you go.
Hooray!
To begin your life as privateers / diplomats / pirates. Into the seas of Iyith. So when we pick back up, we will start our aquatic adventures.
I can give everybody a rundown of the ship and its capabilities.
Everyone. Yay. And I do have, as far as the ship goes, I do have like the ship diagrams and everything, so everyone can pick their spot and all that stuff. That's all been prepared and ready to go.
I guess Hildreth can have Gil's cabin for the time being.
Okay, Hildreth can have Gil's cabin. So yes, everyone has their own spot that they can deck out as much as they want with workshops or whatever, however you choose to form your space. So
Lily takes a corner that actually has a takes a cabin that has a window so she can do alchemy.
Yeah, most of them do. So yeah, well, I think I still have those diagrams that I can put up in Discord.
I do too. Actually, I've got it right here. I can show you guys what I kind of planned out.
I'm switching computers, so I don't have all my documents on my laptop.
So this is the ship that we got right here.
Sweet.
Yeah.
you guys got
That's a good one.
So from like the back, one is the navigation area where it has like that's where like our maps and stuff and just driving around goes. Two, up on the other side, has a Pegasus roost, especially for Lana, as well as a grappling ballista, or a ballista that we can tie stuff to.
Mhm.
5 is the main deck area. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, 5 is the main deck, which is the center there. 3 and 4, the wall in between has been taken out completely, and it is just one big laboratory set up for Xylund and Lily.
Oh,
There's,
awesome.
4 windows even. Lots of light.
Yeah. Enough room
And
for you
lots
guys
of
to do
natural
whatever.
air.
Yeah. And then the front of the deck's the kitchen area. The next floor is just all cabins. The large one is split in half, so that we have enough room for everybody. 9 is just more storage area for us. 10, 11 more cabins. 12 is the brig. 13 is built-in storage, and 13 in the back is a special thing that has yet to be put in.
Is it an engine?
Potentially.
Ooh.
There we go.
Battery room. Ooh.
Yeah. Also, the cannons have been apparently changed so that you can focus arcane energy into them and
Yes.
blast energy
Yes.
out of it.
And I
Wait,
have
who built
stats
that?
for the actual structure of the ballista and the cannons, which will be located on the lower deck.
Yeah.
The physical aspect of them were built by Greylock, but they don't have any method of charging it. They don't have a way to make them. Right now, they're just standard chromite cannons. But they have been fitted so that they can be made arcane if you can find someone capable of doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have, as far as like ship stats, your AC, your weapon damage, all that good stuff, I do have that, and I'll get that posted so you guys can have that on hand as well. So you know how much firepower you're packing.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. But that is that is where we will wrap up for today. Since you guys are on your ship and I don't want to start any ship combat or anything this late in the day. But next episode, Life on the High Seas, there's going to be pirates and more pirates and sea creatures and explosions and lightning, and it's going to be awesome.
Hooray!
And the ship
Hooray.
is named Camilla Moon as well.
Yes, the ship is named Chameleon Moon.
Does Blood Moss have like hangover effects?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Not just yet,
Lily,
but yes.
Lily is gonna go straight to the lab and see if she can come up with something to address the symptoms of that. Like, I'm assuming it's like headache, nausea, exhaustion, maybe.
It honestly, it depends on the person and the amount that is used and how habitual the use is. So Sim's gonna have to roll for that when we start back up. We'll see just how sick our Iron Butterfly is after his blood moss binge.
As Lily heads to the lab, Xylund will head to the prow and begin stripping down again to stand there and let the sea breeze caress him.
Lily's
I like to think that like Lily's like, oh, you got to make something, and like you're getting set up in your room to like do something like haphazard, and I was like, what are you doing?
making something to help Xylund with his hangover once he comes down.
No. If you're gonna do that, do it in the right place, and then I show you the gigantic lab.
Oh.
Lily is going to squeal and hug Kern, and then blush about squealing and hugging Kern, and then just give him like, thank you.
Yay.
And he's gonna shuffle over to the alchemy part of the laboratory and pretend nothing happened.
All right. So we will start next session with, I guess, Xylund swinging in the breeze and everyone else making themselves comfortable. It's
As far away from Xylund as possible.
good session, everyone. I'm glad we got out of Greylock relatively, in one piece. But it was definitely fun, and while I am a little sad we didn't get to blow anything up this session, I'm also kind of glad that Noel didn't have to miss out, because I know she wanted to blow something up.
That's all next session.
But yeah, next session we're blowing
all the
everything
explosions.
up. All the explosions. All the explosions. You guys have got cannons and all kinds of stuff to play with, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
So, would you say that we finished this arc, this potential arc?
I think he's angling for a level up.
I
there.
think he is angling for a level up. You know what? Okay. I was prepared to have a land battle. I actually set up for a land battle as well because I wasn't sure which way you guys were going to go. And after the land battle, I would have given you a level up. So I will go ahead, and as you embark, everyone is feeling so free and so advanced and so full of potential. We'll go ahead and do a level up.
6.5 out of 10%.
6.5 out of 10. Okay.